redshirt freshman has been exceptional at quarterback. He's taken the pressure and thrown 14 touchdowns. Indiana's Hoosiers are on the move. Head coach Bill Mallory has won back-to-back Big Ten Coach of the Year honors and has developed native Indiana talent like junior tailback Vaughn Dunbar. Dunbar has the strength and quickness to run inside, but you don't gain 1,143 yards and score 13 touchdowns without also having the speed to go outside. Today in Atlanta, Auburn and Indiana meet in the 1990 Peach Bowl. ABC Sports presents third annual Peach Bowl. This afternoon, live from Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium, Indiana and Auburn meet in what could be less than the best weather conditions. There have been 4 straight days of fog and rain here in the Atlanta area, and it will have an effect on the playing surface. 53 degrees at game time, the warmest it's been here in Atlanta in a few days. No humidity left to count. And here come the Hoosiers of Indiana. 6-4-1 on the season. Head coach Bill Mallory, in his 7th year, has really breathed new life into the program. This is their 4th bowl appearance in the 7 years under Bill Mallory. Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Zabriskie, and along with Lynn Swan, we welcome you to Atlanta as ABC's week of Bowl Fest continues. Well, Lynn, the Indiana Hoosiers are known primarily as a running team, but I think today there's going to be a little more emphasis placed on that defense.
Absolutely. That defense is going to have to give the offense field position. And Mike Dumas, their All-American safety, is a man to do that. He can make the big play, and he has confidence. As a matter of fact, he challenged me one-on-one. Good thing I'm too old to take him up on it. On the other side of the line, they've got Vaughn Dunbar. He is the workhorse of this team, and he is very fast. He is going to have to use that speed to misdirect that Auburn defense and take advantage of it.
And speaking of that Auburn defense, they have got some serious players. The Tigers coming onto the field, and you will hear loud cheering for Auburn as the proximity to Atlanta has brought a lot of fans to Fulton County Stadium. They are 7-3-1 on the year. Pat Dye, who's now in his 10th season, he's out of the Bear Bryant mold. And in those 10 seasons, he has already amassed 88 wins at Auburn. One of the things that's going to be key for the Auburn Tigers has been a big plus for them all year long, and that has been the play of their fine freshman quarterback.
Stan White, you saw how calm the team was taking the field. Stan White has been that calm throughout the season, but he's thrown 14 touchdowns and 14 interceptions. He's got to play a mistake-free football game. One of the problems for him this afternoon is he is missing the services of his #1 receiver, Greg Taylor. He is a fine possession receiver, and that's going to hurt the offense. So once again, pressure falls back on the defense, and their defensive end, David Rocker, is a man who loves that pressure. He is an impact player. Today, he'll have to penetrate that offensive line, make things happen, put pressure on the quarterback, and give the Auburn offense the field position they need.
Auburn has had a little more bowl experience than has Indiana. Indiana's last appearance, the '88 Liberty Bowl, in which they beat South Carolina. Auburn last year defeated Ohio State in the Hall of Fame Bowl. So it's Indiana and Auburn going at it. And last night in downtown Atlanta, the fans who were in attendance and the cheerleaders and bands for both teams whooped it up at a Peach Bowl pep rally. The War Eagle, the cry of the Auburn Tigers, much in evidence, and Indiana very well represented as well. We'll be back with the Peach Bowl from Atlanta here on ABC in just a minute.
I missed.
And we're very happy to welcome a new face to ABC Sports who will be with us on the sideline, reporting on the happenings on the field. Please welcome Susan Hunt. Well, Susan, we're glad to have you with us.
Oh, thanks a lot, Steve. Well, the mood of these two teams is definitely they want to win this bowl game. Now, I just came from the Tigers locker room where Coach Baptiste was giving his team a little pep talk before they hit the field. And as he said to the team, he wants them to set the tone early, control the line of scrimmage. And don't forget, for Auburn, this is somewhat of a redemption game, so they have a lot at stake here, not to mention the pride and the tradition of the Auburn program. As for Indiana, a chance for Coach Bill Mallory to really showcase a young squad, a group of great kids who are looking forward to a long career there. And, of course, Indiana has really turned its program around, so it is a chance for Bill Mallory to maybe help a little bit with the recruiting. So it ought to be a great matchup. Steve?
Thank you, Susan. And, of course, many of you were tuning in expecting to hear the fine voice of Gary Bender. Gary Bender was not able to do the game. It's my pleasure to fill in for him under difficult circumstances. Gary suffering a death in the family, not able to be with us, and we certainly send all of our best wishes from ABC Sports to Gary Bender and his family. Scott Bunnell ready to kick off, a sophomore out of Newburgh, Indiana, and back deep to receive three backs, but in the middle for Auburn, number 8, Shane Wasden, a junior wide receiver out of Selma, Alabama. Wasden about a yard deep is not going to bring it out. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 20 for the Auburn offense. And the Peach Bowl is underway. Freshman Stan White will lead that offense as he has done so ably this year with 14 touchdowns. The only blemish, the equal number of interceptions. Williams and Joseph will be the running backs. Cherry and Wasden will start at the wide receivers. And Stacy Danley, who has run the ball a lot, is not available with a knee injury. Williams with a big hole out to the 25 before he is tripped up by Mark Hagan, the outside linebacker. Auburn up front, the big guys with Hall, Gandy, King, Meeks, Tillman, and Shelby, and a couple of them up around the 280-pound mark. Second down and 5. Auburn at their own 25. Play action. Wasden in the flat has blockers. First down as he gets near the 35. Honeycutt, McDaniel, and McCoy are the front three for Indiana. Beauchamp, Farrell, Miller, and Hagan, the linebackers. In the secondary, Middleton, Ane, Dumas, and Richardson. With Dumas the leader. 1st and 10 Auburn from their own 35. White to pass again. And he completes it. Herbert Casey, as the defender fell down, Casey picks up a first down near midfield. Mose Richardson finally made the stop.
This is the kind of offensive control Auburn needs to execute to win this ball game. They've got to have White rely on other people. You've got Casey, who's the fastest receiver out there at a 4.4 in the 40-yard dash. He gets into the flat, takes a short pass, turns it up for another first down. They've got an advantage on their offensive line in terms of size. They need to use that.
Gain of 13. And a flag flies as Indiana may have been offside. Williams dragged down as he gets back to the line of scrimmage. Charles Beauchamp, the left side outside linebacker, and a freshman making the tackle. But it appears as if Indiana was offside. Jack Baker is the referee, and this entire officiating crew is from the Western Athletic Conference. And that is the indication offsides against the Hoosiers. Bill Mallory. Indiana has only been in 7 bowl games in their entire history, and Bill Mallory now has them in his 4th in just 7 years.
Offsides on the defense. Repeat first down.
So it'll be 1st and 5, and here are those WAC conference officials. Indiana, of course, from the Big Ten, and Auburn from the Southeastern Conference, so a neutral group chosen for the Peach Bowl. Play action again by White. And it's complete to the tight end, Victor Hall. And Hall is down near the 35 of Indiana before he's dragged down by Mike Middleton. A gain of 12.
And this series so far, the Auburn offense has given the ball, passed it to Wasden, to Casey, now to Victor Hall. They've let Williams run the ball. They're demonstrating the balance all in this first drive they want to maintain for the game. And their front line is doing the job with pass protection, good run blocking.
White has had plenty of time, and he's 3 for 3. Alex Smith, the ball carrier, he has been the guy called upon to replace Stacy Danley in the backfield. Smith, a sophomore out of College Park, Georgia. Mark Hagan, number 47, on the stop. And it's another big first down gain of about 7, so it'll be 2nd down and 3.
We'll see Smith and Williams shuttle in a lot because as backup guys, they weren't playing a whole lot during the season. They don't want to tire them out in this ball game.
White under pressure gets it away, and it's intercepted. Nope, dropped. It was Dumas.
Number 38, Mike Dumas, Sporting News All-American. He was back there reading the play. We'll take a look at the replay. You see the receiver coming off the ball. He's wide open, and if White could have had his footing and gotten this ball thrown well, that would have been a touchdown. But he had some pressure as he had a short roll to the outside, and Dumas came over and had a chance to make the play for the ball. Now, although it's a bad pass, that's the kind of big play Dumas needs to make to give Indiana a chance. That was a missed opportunity right there.
And it brings up 3rd down and 3. The first 3rd down situation of this drive as White completes it out of the backfield. Melvin Hines driven out of bounds on the far sideline, and it's enough for another first down.
Melvin Hines has very good speed. He's working against a linebacker, Beauchamp, right there, and it's no contest. Beauchamp can't make the play, doesn't have the speed to stay with him. That's the kind of matchup that Pat Sullivan said he wanted to get all day long.
You can see that Auburn has been very tough when they have gotten inside the 20. They're at the 18 of Indiana. No score, first quarter. White to pass again. Completing it again to Victor Hall, who's down near the 10. Tackled by Mike Dumas.
Victor Hall is a solid player. He could be, coaches feel he could be a much better player than he's demonstrated so far. He plays in front of Fred Baxter. They think Fred is a better pass receiver. Right now, Victor's doing an admirable job helping his team move down the field.
2nd down. James Joseph banging straight ahead. Getting near the 5. Charles Beauchamp making the stop for Indiana. And Joseph will be close to a first down.
Pat Dye has to be very happy so far in this initial drive. One of his comments about his team is that they have not so far in 1990 played up to their ability. This Auburn team was expected to contend for a national championship, but in the middle of the season they fell very short.
They want to go out on a big high note. They have 1st and goal now at about the 7.5, 6.5 of Indiana. White on a naked bootleg going for the corner. Touchdown! Stan White on a 6-yard run to make it 6-0 Auburn.
The slowest player on the Indiana defense is about a 4.9. That means they react very well. That time they were reacting to the pitch to Joseph. White bootlegged it. A couple of people out there, but he had just enough room to eke in.
Jim Von Weil in for the extra point. Chris Dickinson is the holder, and it is perfect. 11:23 left to go in the first quarter here in Atlanta. Auburn with a 7-0 lead over Indiana. The redshirt freshman Stan White taking it in from 6 yards out, and what an impressive drive, Swanee, by Auburn right off the bat.
Oh, absolutely. And one of the key players in that drive, number 19, Melvin Hines, caught a couple of passes. Here's a kid all year long, he only caught 1. On the opening drive, he's in the ball game catching 2, keeping his team in contention for a perfect opening drive of this ball game.
number 26. And Mike Middleton are back to receive, and it's a short kick. Taken by Don Matejko. The backup senior fullback brings it out just across the 30 to the 31. So we'll get a look at Trent Green, the sophomore quarterback.
He began the season as a starting quarterback, got him off to a 4-0 start. Then he kind of bogged down. Then he brought in Chris Dyer.
But apparently Bill Mallory now back with Green, and Green starting on a play-action pass on first down under pressure from David Rocker, and he slides down for a loss inside the 30. Benny Pierce, Eric Ramsey, along with Rocker, converging on Trent Green. Vaughn Dunbar and Cal Miller are the running backs, with Thomas and McGowan starting at the wideouts. Walker, Trenter, Smith, Mack, Newton, and Schreider are up front, and you can see that between the 280s, 270s, and 290s, Indiana doesn't lack for beef.
No, they don't. Not on their offensive line.
It's a loss of 4. 2nd and 14. Green under pressure, and he's dropped by number 56, Darrell Crawford. Crawford, a junior out of Montrose, Alabama, with the 2nd consecutive sack for Auburn.
He came into this game with 119 tackles, 50 of them solo and 1 sack. He just gets good inside pressure, and there's no place for Green to go. This is exactly what Indiana wanted to avoid.
Now it is 3rd and 25, back on their own 16. Dunbar can't go anywhere. Slipping as he tried to avoid the pressure of Ricky Sutton.
I'm very surprised by the play calling. We've got Vaughn Dunbar back there, who's rushed for over 1,100 yards for you. I know Indiana wants to establish a passing game, but they need really to let Vaughn Dunbar get warmed up in this game before they put the ball in the air.
And on 3rd and very long, it was, to say the least, a most conservative call. Mackey Smith will do the punting. Wasden at the 45. Slips down as he crosses midfield. They're going to mark it at about the 47 or 8 of Indiana. But Auburn will have outstanding field position. And they have a 7-0 lead here in the first quarter of the Peach Bowl. The Hoosiers trying to regroup a bit, as in their 3 offensive plays they lost a total of 16 yards. And it's Auburn with the lead and back on offense, and Williams breaks it up the middle. Darrell Williams to about the 43 of Indiana. Mike Middleton, the cornerback, again having to come up and make the stop along with Mike Dumas.
Auburn's offense not having any problems in terms of traction on this field. We know there's a number of players for Indiana on the offensive drive slipping, having a hard time. Darrell Williams just took off. Traction was all there.
Gain of 5 for Williams. 2nd down and 5. White dumps it over the middle to his running back James Joseph, and Joseph carries people down to the 35 of Indiana. Mike Middleton again on the stop, but a gain of 8 and another Auburn first down.
Look like we'll take another look. Joseph is going to come in after catching this pass. Stan White getting a great deal of time. Very low pressure coming in. Joseph makes a hit right there. Number 47, Mark Hagan, comes up. He makes a hit. Now everybody else comes up to give a stick, but they keep driving Joseph forward for another 3 yards.
And that is the 6th first down for Auburn as White slips, but gets it out to Williams. And Williams again stopped by Mike Middleton. Already the field being chewed up and chewed up really before the game started, Swanee, because of all the rain here.
All the rain they had this week. You saw Stan White going back to pass. Looked a little bit like Randall Cunningham as he went back, slipped, got that left arm down there. The Giants hate that play.
This was just a little shorter pass play.
Yes.
Williams on a sweep to the right. This time Indiana defense fills very well. And a short gain on the play. It'll bring up 3rd down.
Joe Novak is a defensive coordinator for Indiana. And he told me the one thing he was most afraid of happening in this ball game was the Auburn offensive line just pounding his defensive unit down the field. They're going to have to use their speed and quickness, slant, come with some stunts to counteract their size and strength.
So far it has been Auburn's offense to have control. 3rd and 3, almost intercepted by Mike Dumas. But the incompletion will bring up 4th down for Auburn.
Oh, he's haunting Stan White. He's there in the shadows lurking. Both passes deep for Stan White have been met with a better opportunity for Dumas to make the interception. Now here's the pass. Wonder where this ball is really being thrown. You look right there. Dumas is right there. Oh. Yeah, the receiver kicked it with his foot as he went by it.
So Jim Von Weil is on to attempt the field goal. It'll be spotted at the 35. So it'll be a 45-yard attempt. Dickinson puts it down, and it is no good. So the score remains Auburn 7 and Indiana nothing here in the first quarter of the Peach Bowl. 7:15 left to play in the period. And if Alex Smith would just move a little bit one way or the other, you would see Tony Richardson, whose sister recorded that little video postcard from the Middle East. There he is, number 40. They're bound and determined that we're not going to get a look at it. Indiana 1st and 10 after the missed 45-yard field goal attempt. Dunbar breaking through a hole and getting up to the 35 before he's knocked down. Ricky Sutton on the tackle. Let's get a report now from Susan Hunt.
Thanks a lot, Steve. Well, one thing that is certainly playing a part in today's game is the condition of the field, which is getting ripped up. And, you know, it was back in 1986 that the city of Atlanta and Fulton County sunk in about $250,000 to put in that prescription athletic turf. And I talked to the stadium manager earlier on. He says the system is working, but what's really hurting today, and is causing this, is the humidity, which is at 100%. Back to you, Steve.
Thanks, Susan. It's goopy to say the least as Ernie Thompson nearly broke one out of there running through that muck in the center of the field. Free safety John Wiley had to make the stop, and it's a gain of 15 for Thompson. 2 good gains in a row for Indiana, and that's the first time they've been able to move the ball, Swanee.
Absolutely. Ernie Thompson is a strong running back. He's got excellent moves, about 4.5 speed. The only thing the coaches think he needs to do is improve on his blocking, but if he keeps running like this, won't matter how he blocks.
Diminishes the importance. 1st and 10 from the midfield stripe. Play action, and Trent Green goes nowhere. Lamar Rogers at 275 pounds, and David Rocker, who is just a little guy at 265. We're waiting for him.
It doesn't look it. No. We'll take another look at the isolation on the quarterback. Number 12, the cornerback, Corey Barlow, is a man who really makes this play because he's covering the pitch man. Then the quarterback has no one to throw to, and he's trapped.
So far, Auburn's defense has had a pretty sound game plan approach against Indiana. 2nd down and 1, and it's complete, but yes, it is complete to Rob Turner for the 1st down. Eric Ramsey ran him out of bounds, but
it was a little bit deceiving there.
It's 2nd down, and it was 2nd and 11, excuse me. Now it's going to be 3rd down. It's not enough for the 1st down. It'll be 3rd down in about 6 or 7. The ball at the 46 of Auburn. Auburn leading 7-0 with 5.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Rocker may have jumped off sides for Auburn. Trent Green lofts it out to Dunbar, who goes nowhere. Reggie Barlow, no relation to the cornerback Corey Barlow on Auburn's defense, making a stop. But it did appear as if David Rocker jumped off sides.
He indeed did. There will be 5 yards against Auburn. They'll repeat the down. Rocker's at the bottom of your screen. You see him jump right there, and the ball is snapped while he is in the neutral zone. Most quarterbacks can see an opportunity like that. Hope they've got a play on where they can take a chance and throw the ball deep for the big one. They don't care whether it's intercepted or picked off because they know the play is coming back. But Indiana had a screen called, trying to take advantage of the pass rush, and they'll just pick up the 5 yards on the penalty.
It'll make the third down situation a little more palatable for them, however, as instead of 3rd and 7, it'll now be 3rd and 2, and the ball just inside the Auburn 41.
This is the kind of moment the defensive unit relishes, a chance to show how tough they are in a crucial situation.
Dunbar with a good lead block gets the first down and gets inside the 35. Ernie Thompson leading him with a fine block, and John Wiley, the free safety, made the stop after a gain of 8.
Well, they can't be unhappy about Ernie Thompson's blocking on that play, as he opened up a very nice hole for Dunbar to get through there. There's where the quickness comes into play. Dunbar gets the ball about 5 yards, 4 yards deep in his own backfield, but he's quick enough to get to that line, pop through a hole before it closes up, and pick up a vital first down.
Indiana on the move, driving after the missed 45-yard field goal by Auburn. Now have a 1st and 10 at the 33. And there is Big Ernie again as the 235-pound fullback bowls it inside the 30. David Rocker's parents are here, along with about 100 other people probably, since he's from Atlanta, and Susan Hunt is with David's parents right now.
Well, thanks a lot, Steve. As you can imagine, David's got quite a cheering section out here. He grew up about, what, playing high school football about 2 miles from here?
Right, about 2 miles. Right at about 2 miles.
What kind of a cheering section do we have for David today? How many we got in attendance?
Oh, I guess about 40.
I'm not surprised. You know, it must be exciting. Of course, David has had a tremendous season to end his college career here. And, of course, you have a son, Tracy, who he followed Auburn. And Tracy's playing for the Redskins. I see you're all decked out in your Redskins outfit. How's it feel maybe having 2 sons next year in the NFL?
I will love it. Enjoyed every bit of it.
Mrs. Rocker, any sibling rivalry growing up between the 2 of them? Any sibling rivalry growing up with the 2 of them?
No, not really. Just the normal that kids usually do, have little things among themselves, but they got along very well.
Well, you know, I know that David, we talked to him yesterday, and he was saying that this season he had 2 goals. One was, of course, to win the conference, and the other to take a championship, a bowl game. And so he said today it's really important for him to end us up as his career in front of his family and friends and to go out with a bang.
Well, I certainly think this is a bang, just being at home and having a chance to sort of cross back over some of those bridges that you treaded before. So we're just especially proud and thankful to the Lord that we're here today with David.
Well, thanks a lot for joining us, and we'll send it back to the field.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Thank you, Susan, and thank you to the Rockers. On the play that you saw, Darrell Crawford and Lamar Rogers dropped the running back, Ron Dunbar, for a 5-yard loss, and so Indiana has asked for a timeout with 3:11 remaining in the first quarter. They will be faced with a 3rd and 9 when the timeout is over. And this, I don't know, Swanee, how you feel about it, but you know, a key drive like this, it may be hard to say that in the first quarter, but they do need to establish something here.
When Auburn got the ball moved down for what appeared to be a very easy touchdown, I think this Indiana team said, hey, we cannot let them get that far front. We cannot let them dominate us. And the offense, I think, is trying to pull up, you know, the shorts there and say, hey, let's keep our team in the ball game. We have to possess the ball, move it down the field any way we can. Calling a timeout here, they don't want to make a mistake and get this 3rd down conversion completed.
And a reminder, coming up next here on ABC, it's college basketball, presenting one of the nation's top teams, North Carolina. ABC Sports.
Georgia Tech is down in Orlando, and all of Atlanta is excited about them playing in that Citrus Bowl.
That's right.
On January 1st.
They have a shot at the national title, and the national title, I think, is maybe more up for grabs this year than it has been in recent memory, anyway.
A lot of people with bags trying to stuff it in there.
We're ready to go again. Third down, and officially they're calling it 10. Technically, it's about 9.5 yards needed for the first down. Ball just at the 38-yard line of Auburn. Green gets protection. A flag is thrown as the pass is complete to Dunbar. It is not enough for the first down. Darrell Crawford hit him right away, but there is a flag thrown on contact.
Whenever you see a flag thrown in a group of defensive backs and a wide receiver as the play is occurring, you know it's pass interference, probably on someone. You've got holding on the defense. That's going to be an automatic first down.
And a big play for Indiana, as they would not have had enough yardage for the first down otherwise.
Offensive line of Indiana did a very nice job giving him time to throw, giving Trent Green time to throw.
10 yards from the previous spot. First down.
So the gain of 10 will move it very near where they had to get for the first down. The penalty yardage would have given them the first down, but an automatic first down comes with defensive holding anyway.
We'll take a look at the end of the play. The ball's in the air. The flag is being thrown. You see the holding. That was just, the contact was made. The player just grabbed him by the shirt a little bit too soon.
Now Indiana with a real scoring threat as they have the first and 10 at the Auburn 23. Dunbar. Penalty flag is down, and so is Dunbar's. Carrick and Cunningham, the inside linebacker, came up to meet him behind the line of scrimmage, but another flag thrown on the play.
I believe Trent Green was audibilizing on that play. He came up to the line, and again, it's against the defense. He came up to the line, got behind center, started calling out a play, looked behind him. The fullback heard him call the play, turned around, told the tailback, told Dunbar exactly where he needed to run to.
So now it's going to be first down and 5 as the ball is moved to the Auburn 18.
I certainly don't want to take credit away from Indiana on this drive, because they are moving the ball very well. But it appears that these two penalties, Auburn may be critical in keeping this drive alive in getting points on the board for Indiana.
Certainly the first one kept the drive alive. Auburn already with 3 penalties. This one may lead to an Indiana score. Thompson bouncing off the pile, but nowhere to go. Big number 97, Benny Pierce, got a hold of his jersey and was not going to let go until help arrived.
And it appeared that there were only 2 Auburn defenders who were not in that pile at the end. Not a place for Trent Green to go into and try and make a block, which he did on that last play.
So now, with that loss of a yard, it is second down and 6.
We'll take a look. Trent Green, number 12. He hands the ball off. Back gets stacked up. Now he looks back in there. He wants to give help, and he tries to throw a block in there.
He just flat got run over.
Yes, he did.
Dunbar broke a tackle at the line of scrimmage, but Walter Tate, the nose guard, had enough of him to knock him down after a short gain. And that game maybe only a half a yard to a yard. So it'll be now 5 yards to go.
Walter Tate, only 306 pounds. Take a look at Indiana's success inside the 20. It's very, very good.
Only 3 times have they failed to come away with any kind of score. Now they have a third and 5. Again at the Auburn 18. Trent Green completes it on the far side to Eddie Thomas. And Eddie Thomas has the first down just inside the Auburn 10.
He was working against number 12, Corey Barlow. Take an isolated look. He's going to take him down the field. Offensive line from Indiana is giving him plenty of time. It's just a down and out. He's working against a zone, and Barlow just dropped back too far. You can't drop back that far when you're working inside the 20-yard line. You really have to stick close to your man. Eddie Thomas, by the way, has a father who is in the Army, and he is also stationed right now in the Middle East.
Eddie Thomas is from right near Fort Knox, Kentucky. It is first and goal from the 8. Dunbar banging inside the 5 and down to the 3.
That is just a tremendous effort by Dunbar. It looked like the entire offensive and defensive line were just clogged up in the middle. Watch the surge here. Defense for Auburn is very quick. They make contact. They're reading, but they get stood up just a bit. Then Dunbar comes through, puts his head down, powers his way through. Good, strong legs driving him through that line.
You can see Dennis Wallace, number 30, looking for him, and finally he popped out from behind the big guys. Second down, goal from the 3. Green on the option. He will walk it in for the touchdown.
Take a look at the play. Somebody has to be responsible for the quarterback. You see the strong safety going up, taking the pitch man. Nobody is on the outside. It's a blown defensive coverage to pick up Trent Green, number 12. Nobody picking him up.
The 3-yard run makes it 7-6 Auburn, with Scott Bunnell on to attempt the extra point. Mark Newell is the holder, and time ran out as Green was scoring. So officially the first quarter has ended. Bunnell is perfect, and the game is tied. That's the end of the first quarter at the Peach Bowl here in Atlanta. It is tied, Indiana and Auburn, with 7 each. Each quarterback has rushed for a touchdown as we have a 7-7 tie in the Peach Bowl starting the second quarter. Trent Green with that 3-yard run culminating an Indiana drive aided by a couple of key penalties to Auburn. Earlier, Stan White took it in, culminating an opening drive by Auburn with a 6-yard run. So each quarterback with a rushing touchdown, accounting for the scoring so far. And now Scott Bunnell, Indiana's number 6, is set to kick it off. Shane Wasden back deep in the middle, along with Alex Smith and Pedro Cherry. Wasden at the 4. And out across the 35 before he's run out of bounds by Mike Dumas, number 38.
Wasden returned a punt for a touchdown earlier in the season. He's got good speed. Took a nice hit, though, on the sideline.
He did. A 35-yard return for Shane Wasden, and Auburn again will start with good field position. First and 10 from their own 38. Williams hit as he crossed the line of scrimmage by John Miller, the inside linebacker, and a short gain. A reminder that tonight the holiday season lights up here on ABC with an all-new episode of The Young Riders, followed by Patrick Swayze and Gene Hackman starring in Uncommon Valor, an ABC movie special. That's all tonight right here on ABC beginning at 8 Eastern. Second down and about 7. Alex Smith trying to get outside, but Indiana's defense will have none of that, as they had about 4 or 5 white shirts waiting for him. Mike Dumas again came up well.
Yes, he did. Right now, what's happening, Auburn is setting up the defense of Indiana. They're running into that short side of the field where Indiana always places number 13, Mike Middleton. They place him there. He's not quite as good on pass coverage, so they put him into the short side of the field for run support, putting Richardson, number 10, to the wide side for most of the man coverage. They're setting him up for play action pass to the short side.
Middleton already has made a number of tackles. Alex Smith again, cutting it back inside. And it's Charles Beauchamp who drags him down short of first down yardage. Or did he get there? Yes, he did. It is enough for the first down as Smith dragged him out to about the 49. Good second effort for an Auburn first down. There's a former great, Pat Sullivan, who was an outstanding quarterback and now coaches the Auburn quarterbacks.
Well, he has certainly tutored and helped the quarterbacks in Auburn the last number of years he has been there. Pat Dye hired him to improve this passing game, and they have done that.
Play action pass. White with a lot of time, looking long. And Cherry is tripped up. No flag, as it was incidental contact. Dave Anay, the strong safety, had the coverage, and Cherry had him beat but got tripped.
Certainly did. What they did was a play action pass. Again, trying to take advantage on the short side of the field. There is a flag, however, that's thrown back in the secondary. In the offensive backfield of Auburn. If there was a play action pass, I told you that they were trying to set up.
Here, excuse me, Swanee. Here's a call from Jack Baker.
Holding on the offense. Repeat first down.
We'll talk about, look at this as the end of the play. Pedro Cherry. The fans here for Auburn want a tripping call. You see him running. He's running. He just really tripped himself. Now there's Dye on the other side. He wants a call. You know he wants a call bad.
On first and 20. White completes it over the middle to Fred Baxter, the tight end. And Baxter tripped up, or he might have had more, as he just about got the penalty back before Chris McCoy made the stop.
Just an arm tackle on that play. Fred Baxter's tight end looked a little bit smoother once he caught that pass. That's what Pat Sullivan was talking about, the difference in their two tight ends.
Baxter, a sophomore out of Brundage, Alabama, with a gain of 7. It's second and 13. White to throw again. And it's complete to Hubert Casey, who's down inside the 10.
Take a look at it from the end zone. When a quarterback continues to get this kind of time, receivers demonstrating the speed and the ability to get behind the secondary. Casey is right there. Nice grab over the shoulders.
Ball down by Jim Summerall, the strong safety, and saved a touchdown. But it's first and goal. Auburn, as flags fly on the snap. Some preliminary movement along the line of scrimmage, and we'll see who jumped first. Illegal procedure against the offense. So Auburn moving prior to the snap.
Dead ball. Illegal procedure on the offense. First down.
Certainly we have to give half the credit to this drive, whatever the outcome may be, to Shane Wasden on his kickoff return, setting them up. It changes your whole attitude and what you do offensively. Auburn came out with great field position, and he took advantage of it. You see the penalties, 5 for 35 on Auburn.
Now it's first and goal from the 11-yard line. Play action, Smith, touchdown. Smith is the guy they look to fill the bill for Stacy Danley, who injured a knee and is unavailable. And it is Smith, a 220-pound sophomore, who's made his presence felt already in the game. Jim Von Weil on for the extra point, and it is blocked, but did it make it through? Yes. Even though somebody got a hand on it, Von Weil drove it through there, and it's 14-7 Auburn.
Alex Smith is actually very lucky to have made this catch. He's running. You can tell he doesn't catch a lot. He's actually turned the wrong way to make this catch. His body should be turned to the outside. That was a terrible angle. I don't know how he made the catch. And There's his reaction to scoring the touchdown.
His first touchdown reception of the year. Auburn again with a 7-point lead. Auburn enjoying a 7-point lead here with 12:09 remaining in the second quarter, and Alex Smith celebrating that 11-yard TD reception to put the Tigers back on top. Chris Dickinson to kick off, and Vaughn Dunbar waits for it at the 11-yard line. Good hole. Into Auburn territory before he's run out of bounds. Another big kickoff return. This one by Vaughn Dunbar.
Special teams, so very important. It's a short kick. The blocking is there in front of them. Their best running back, number 26, Vaughn Dunbar. He just cracks it, and now it's just a race. This open hole is just done by the great blocking by that special teams unit. He takes advantage of it. It's a race down the sideline. If not for the angle, he'd be in the end zone. It's a 45-yard return. The kicker, Chris Dickerson, and Mike Pina ran him out of bounds. 1st and 10, Indiana, as they come right back at the Auburn 44. Trent Green still in at quarterback. Hit from behind and dropped by Corey Barlow. Corey Barlow coming off on the blitz. Wayne Hall is a defensive coordinator for Auburn, and he does not like to blitz a lot. But boy, when you drop back like Trent Green did and give your back to that side of the field, you're a perfect target. You have to see people coming from both sides of the defense. That is the 3rd sack of the day for the Auburn defense. It moves the ball back just outside midfield. 2nd down. Green under pressure again from Sutton. Gets it away and completes it to Rod Coleman, the tight end. Coleman with good yardage, but not enough for the first down as he's inside the Auburn 40. Coleman, a junior from Albany, Georgia, down south of Atlanta. He did a very good job of staying with his quarterback. That was not designed to be a rollout. Green just got the pressure from number 92, Ricky Sutton, who has good speed. A gain of 12, so it'll be 3rd and 4. Taylor in motion. Dunbar. Good hole. 1st down. To about the 32 before Eric Ramsey, the left cornerback, comes up and makes the stop. I don't know if he made the stop or he was just being a ping pong ball or one of those old balls in pinball. He just got bounced back. He came up and got in the way. Yes, he did. I was looking to see if he would get up and grab his leg and start complaining about a hip pointer, because he took a helmet right to that hip and just bounced back. 1st and 10, Indiana. Another good drive by the Hoosiers, who trail by 7 with just over 10 minutes to play in the second quarter. Cal Miller. And Miller picks up good first down yardage as he gets inside the 25. Eric Ramsey again on the stop for Auburn. Cal Miller, number 34, tough player, built like a block of granite. Doesn't look like he moves very fast, but he has deceptive speed, and there's an Auburn player, as you see, down on the field. You don't know who it is yet. Cal Miller is only 5'10", but he weighs 230 pounds. And as someone once said about a former Houston Oiler player, Charlie Toller, it's probably like trying to tackle a rolling manhole cover. A good thing they don't play this game downhill. I'll tell you what, be in trouble. Looks as if it's John Wiley, the free safety, who is shaken up and being attended to. Well, they're not checking any joints or limbs, so it might be just a simple case of having the wind knocked out of them. We always like not to see them flexing the knees and ankles and shoulders. We'll take a look. We see Miller, 34, coming up, and what? Boom, right there. He's a man who upended him. Took a knee to the helmet. Yeah. He might have just been dinged a little bit. A little foggy at the moment, kind of like the weather here in Atlanta.
Only appropriate. Some of it has started to burn off, and maybe Wiley can shake some of it off, as he appeared to possibly even be out for a moment. He's going to be looked at very carefully. Miller's run being measured now as they spot the ball at about the 22, and it is apparently just inches short of a first down.
You know, it's a funny thing when you get kind of dinged in the head and things get a little foggy. I recall playing a game against the Baltimore Colts. I was on the bench. I looked at John Stallworth and said, John, you know, I was just daydreaming a little bit about catching this pass and running the flag pattern and scoring a touchdown and then making a great catch on the sideline. John said, looked at me and called the trainer. He goes, Swanee, you did that already.
Your mind was just catching up with your body.
That's right.
Second down, inches to go. Indiana at the Auburn 22. And there goes big Cal Miller again. And it appears as if he might have enough for a first down. Dennis Wallace taking exception to a block being thrown on him. Looked as if Lamar Rogers, number 91, might have been the one to make the stop in the bottom of the pile, but it is an Indiana first down as Bill Mallory looks on. Auburn leading here in the second quarter, 14-7, but Indiana working on their second consecutive drive. From the 20, on the option, Green trying to cut it in. He'll do well to get back to the line of scrimmage.
He did well to hang on to the football. It looked like it was about to pop out of his right arm, and he just reached back up and pulled it back in.
Walter Tate and David Rocker making the tackle.
We'll take a look. He puts the ball away. He tries to get through a hole. You see it right there just slipping away from him. He's very fortunate. Number 76, you said Walter Tate was a man who was all the way to the outside. Let me remind everyone, Walter Tate is 306 pounds and is the nose guard.
He went a long way.
So he made contact with the center, then ran down the line of scrimmage and made the play. He was a fullback in high school, and that man Tate has 4.9 speed in a 40-yard dash.
And he got there in time to throw Trent Green for a loss of a yard. Flags all over the place. It looked like Troy Newton, number 60, came up a little early along the Indiana offensive line, and that is the indication.
Yes, he did. There's your number 60, Troy Newton, on the left. He's just going to move. This Indiana line is doing a good job in this game so far, and I'm very surprised. They've had a number of shifts of players. There are players on this team that were started out in the double days as defensive linemen, and then were shifted over to the offensive line. Todd Smith is replacing Scott Boatman, who had an injury in this ball earlier. So it's kind of a patchwork offensive line.
They've gotten it together in these last two drives, but now they face second and a long 15, and there's preliminary movement. Auburn saying again it was Indiana that moved.
Lamar Rogers made contact on that play. But was he drawn off?
Nope.
He was not.
It's going to be offsides against Auburn this time as penalties mount up against the Tigers.
There's that patchwork line I was talking about. Troy Newton had a knee injury. He's about 85% healthy, but he's out here playing. Jason Matt was a defensive lineman. Now he's a center. Then Randy Schneider, he had a knee injury. He's back. Todd Smith, a former defensive lineman. And these players and their backups are playing 2 or 3 positions in case someone goes down. So Indiana has to stay healthy to have a chance this afternoon.
Second down and now a long 10 after the reciprocal penalty. Green gets good protection. A flag goes down as he completes the pass to Todd Walker, the tight end. But a flag thrown by the umpire usually means holding along the offensive line.
Yeah, some defensive lineman's jersey is now a size too big.
Holding against Indiana. The umpire, John Bradley, drew the flag as referee Jack Baker indicates holding. So the option will rest with Eric Cunningham, the defensive captain of Auburn. It would be a 10-yard penalty.
There's Wiley.
John Wiley, who got dinged in the head earlier is being looked at very carefully.
Offense. Repeat, second down.
Checking his ear. And probably have him count fingers.
Take no chances with possible head injuries.
Absolutely not.
Auburn elected to take the penalty. So that is the third against Indiana. But only half the total that Auburn has suffered here in the first half. It moves the ball back to about the 31, where it'll now be 2nd and 20. Fake to Dunbar. Green passes it to Dunbar, who gets a block and gets inside the 25, dragged down by Benny Pierce and Darrell Crawford.
Auburn's defense is doing a very good job of reading the play, see what's happening, and then reacting to it. Obviously, it's Indiana trying to run screens and then draws, take advantage of Auburn's speed. But that time, only one of the defensive linemen for Auburn was actually rushing upfield, putting pressure on the passer. The rest were hanging back, reading the screen, and making the play.
Now it is 3rd down and about 15. Ball at the Auburn 25. Auburn leading 14-7 here in the second quarter. A delay to Dunbar. Tripped up in the backfield and then finally tackled. It was Corey Barlow who made the first contact. And then Darrell Crawford and Lamar Rogers finished him off, and it's just a 1-yard gain, if that. It'll be 4th and 14, and the kicking unit will come on for Indiana, as Barlow again got good penetration.
Indiana in a hole a couple of times on this drive with penalties being backed up. They had to go to the 10-yard line for their first down. Now they're trying to settle for a field goal.
Scott Bunnell will kick it out of Mark Newell's hold. It'll be a 42-yard attempt, and the line drive is good. Just made it.
Did you see the angle that ball had as he set it up? About a 45-degree angle from the tip of the ground to the top as he kicked it.
It's amazing that it got through, but it did, and it's 14-10. Auburn leading. We'll be back to Atlanta in just a minute. That little did-you-know fact makes you wonder if there'll ever be another bowl game played in Havana. 1937.
Ooh. I think we're a long way from seeing it.
Unfortunately, you're probably right.
American college football teams playing football in Cuba.
Scott Bunnell will kick it off. And Shane Wasden back deep in the middle, who did such a great job of returning one 35 yards, and Vaughn Dunbar of Indiana answered that on the ensuing kickoff with a 45-yarder. Touched by Alex Smith. Wasden picks it up at the 5. Tries to cut back on that muddy turf. Fumbles the ball as he goes down, and we'll see what the officials signal. Indiana thinks they have it.
It'll be interesting when the official blew that whistle. It looked like he was down. They may rule that he fumbled after he hit the ground. We'll take a look. In which case, Auburn would have control.
Indiana's ball. That is the first Auburn turnover.
Take a look. Shane had the great return before. He's hit there. The ball is coming loose. Definitely a fumble all the way. And then the pileup. We'll take another look. He goes and he gets whacked in the head, and just kind of threw him off there, and the ball just drops out. One player just sees it. It looked all those legs.
It looked as if Mike Dumas recovered the fumble. The guy is everywhere. Mike Dumas, who is first team all Big Ten in the secondary for Indiana, also playing on special teams. So Indiana trailing 14-10 with 5:51 to go in the second quarter. Gets it 1st and 10. The ball at the 23 of Auburn. Vaughn Dunbar back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. Carrick and Cunningham was waiting for him.
Kerrigan doing a great job just filling in from that middle linebacker position, inside backer position. The Indiana running attack featuring Vaughn likes to have Vaughn come up to the line like he's going to run inside. Then he breaks to the outside. He is not improvising. That is just the way the plays are designed.
Yep. You can see from that shot of the flag that the fog has not dissipated as yet. Second down and 8. Rocker can't hold on to Green. And Green will pick up a short gain, averting a big loss. Penny Pierce finally ran him out of bounds, but David Rocker knows he had a chance for a sack and let it get away.
We'll take a look at number 95, David Rocker. He just blows by a gap. Somebody forgets to block him. Really, they should have taken him on. He's right there. He just doesn't grab him. He reaches out with one hand. Trent Green does a good job to get to the outside and pick up positive yards, but that was just a blown opportunity by David Rocker for not tying him up.
Well, Trent Green is no small guy himself at 6'4" and 205. But he was able to pull away from big David Rocker. He picked up 3, so it's 3rd and 5 at the 19 of Auburn. Dunbar, nowhere to go. What a job by Corey Barlow and Darrell Crawford. Barlow has just come up and supported the run so well. And Crawford has already made a handful of tackles.
They were there looking for that run up to the line and breaking to the outside. One of the favorite plays of Indiana. Interestingly enough, when you look at that play to the backside, if he had cut to the right, there was no one there. That's a good coached defensive job.
Yep. So Scott Bunnell will attempt another field goal. This one a 39-yard attempt. And it is wide to the right. Well, he got a good hold that time and didn't make it. When he got the bad hold, he was able to sneak it through there. So with 4:23 remaining in the first half, the score remains Auburn 14, Indiana 10.
Okay, what's new with the new generation?
Wish Happy New Year's to my family and my little girls. And I like to say, go Auburn.
Welcome back to Atlanta and the Peach Bowl, and it's hard to determine which team is being more affected by the condition of the field today. We talked about it earlier on, the way this prescription turf is holding up. Now, this was put in back in '86 at $250,000, but as you can see, it's really soaking up the water, and everybody is being affected really on the field. And don't forget, tomorrow, Atlanta's here against Dallas, so I wonder how the Falcons will handle the field conditions. All right, we'll send it back to Steve.
Thank you, Susan. We've already seen some players doing a little skating, shall we say, on the field. Auburn 1st and 10. Stan White gets it away and completes it to his tight end, Victor Hall, who makes a fine catch and then gets a couple more yards before Mark Hagan can bring him down.
Terrific play action control by Stan White. He faked the ball on the inside. There was pressure all around him. He pulled the ball back, stood there in the pocket until his receiver opened up. Looked like bodies were falling all around him.
It's a gain of 15 and another Auburn first down. Williams, as a flag goes down, it stops play. There will be officially no play. And the dead ball foul for illegal procedure against Auburn will move it back 5 yards.
Dead ball.
A reminder, coming up at halftime here at the Peach Bowl, the Indiana University Marching 100 will be entertaining us, as well as the Auburn University Marching Band. We'll have a preview of New Year's Day bowl games for you, and we'll also have highlights from the first half of the 23rd annual Peach Bowl. So stay with us. First down, 15. White overthrowing the intended receiver, Hubert Casey.
They're really trying to pick on Mike Middleton, number 13, the cornerback from Indiana. As we said earlier, he's very physical. He plays the run well. They're just trying to take advantage of his lack of pass coverage ability.
And it looked as if he might have been a step behind, but the ball was overthrown. To the fullback, James Joseph. And Indiana strong in the middle. Joseph goes nowhere. Down off the bottom of the pile is number 93, Hervin McCormick, a freshman out of Brooklyn, New York.
Kind of a Hoosier howdy down there in that line. McCormick, 270 pounds, 6'4". Young, he just needs time, and that's pretty much what he's getting right here.
Yep, some valuable experience. 3rd down and 16. Throwing long, he has it. Hubert Casey with a diving grab for a first down in Indiana territory. It's a gain of 28.
The coverage by Indiana is pretty good. They're playing man coverage underneath. He's being shadowed by Dave Ane, and the ball is just thrown high. Casey goes up for it. They say he is the big play receiver. And right here, he makes it for him.
Herbert Casey at 6 feet was up far higher than that as Richardson carries. Tony Richardson for short yardage inside the 40 for a gain of a couple.
Auburn having quite a bit of success putting the ball in the air.
Especially that big 3rd and 16 play. Now they have 2nd and 8 at the Indiana 39. White again with time. Complete. At the 25-yard line, Melvin Hines was able to keep a foot in bounds.
And I'll bet you there are a lot of people back in Alabama going, who? Melvin who?
Not in Huntsville, though. They know him in Huntsville.
Not in Huntsville. Melvin only had 3 catches in his entire career coming into this ball game. He runs an excellent out pattern against Richardson on the sideline. That's a terrific catch. That's a big-time catch. 14 yards.
Victor Hall makes the diving grab and stays in bounds and picks up 5 or 6. Mike Middleton again with the coverage, and now Stan White asks for timeout. 1:57 left to go in the half. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Auburn having the ball at the Indiana 21. And the bands are getting ready to do their thing. We'll return to the 1990 Peach Bowl here in Atlanta in just a minute. Has happened so far. Stan White, the Auburn quarterback, scored first on a 6-yard run to make it 7-0 Auburn in the first. But Trent Green came back with a 3-yard run of his own for Indiana to tie it at 7. Then in the second quarter, Alex Smith, his first TD reception of the year, an 11-yarder. And Scott Bunnell booted a 42-yard field goal to give us our present 14-10 Auburn leading score near the end of the half. And here goes James Joseph, who breaks a tackle and gets inside the 10. 1:48 left to go in the half, and it's going to be 1st and goal for Auburn.
James Joseph is an emotional player, and this is what they need right now. Take a look at the Auburn injuries. This team is playing well, but look at Taylor's out, Stacy Danley, Chris Gray on defense, James Willis, our leading tackler, and this Auburn unit is still hanging in there. There's a pass, overthrown.
I think White might have purposely thrown it away, as he did have some pressure on him. Fred Baxter, the tight end, probably the closest to the ball. It stops the clock with 1:35.
And not an open receiver downfield.
Yes. So not a bad decision by White.
As we said earlier, Stan White needs to play a mistake-free ball game. Right now, I think he might come to the wide side of the field and work against the corner there.
Into the end zone, intended for Wasden, but overthrown and incomplete.
That was correct.
131. He went the other way on you.
Into the other corner.
131 to go, and you see Sullivan signaling into him, standing next to head coach Pat Dowell. Third and goal. Still at the Indiana 9. Almost intercepted by Middleton. Mike Middleton has been picked on all day long, and he almost had a shot to go a long way the other direction.
As we said, he's not the best coverage man in the secondary. That's why they play him in the short side. Auburn went after him one time too many. Almost gave him a chance to run it back. 90-plus yards for a touchdown.
So Jim Von Weil on 4th and goal from the 9 is into a tip. A field goal. He missed a 45-yarder earlier. This will be a 26-yard attempt with, again, Chris Dickinson holding. And it's through there and good. So with 1:23 to go in the half, the Tigers of Auburn regain their 7-point lead, leading 17-10 over Indiana. And that 7-point lead has been kind of the norm throughout the first half of this game. Indiana has not been able to get any closer than 4.
A very precarious lead, the way that Indiana is playing. And if Indiana can take possession of this football and not shoot themselves in the foot the way they have on a couple of drives so far, they get the ball in good field position, they start to move, suddenly there's a blitz, somebody misses a blocking assignment, there's a sack, and suddenly they're looking at 2nd and long, 2nd and 15, first a penalty and 1st and 15, and things of that nature. If they can keep themselves from digging that hole on the first couple of plays, they might have a chance of sustaining a drive for a touchdown.
Bill Mallory is very happy that his team is in a bowl game for more than the normal reasons. They're so young, Swanee, that it gives them extra practice and it gives them obviously valuable experience. This is what you're going to see at halftime, and we're 1:23 on the clock away from halftime.
You're absolutely correct, Steve, in terms of giving them time. There are only 10 seniors on this team, only 6 of which start, so they're going to be strong for next year.
Chris Dickinson kicking off. And a short kickoff taken by Cal Miller, and Miller cuts back the other way outside the 35 as he bangs over a defender. Mike Pina finally cut him down, but good field position with 1:14 remaining on the clock.
Miller does not look like he's moving very fast. He's a chunky little guy out there on the field. As we said, he's only, what, 5'10"? And 230 pounds, so he's hard to bring down. Not afraid to take on the entire Auburn kickoff team by himself.
A 16-yard return on a short kickoff means Indiana has the ball 1st and 10 at their own 40. Dunbar. Ron Dunbar outside the 40 to near the 42, and somewhat of a surprise that they would not try to throw the football with now just 1 minute remaining in the half.
Well, I think they feel Auburn's looking for the pass, so they want to see what they could get initially going off tackle. David Rocker is not in the ball game. Auburn substitutes frequently their defensive linemen, keeping them fresh.
Gain of 2, 2nd and 8. Green with time, but time runs out as he's wrapped up by John Wilson, the defensive tackle, a junior out of Haleyville, Alabama. So it'll be 3rd and 9 with timeout called and 32 seconds remaining in the first half.
Quickly from anywhere on the field.
They don't have nearly the explosive offense that Auburn can demonstrate at times and has already today. Indiana's timeout means they have 1 remaining here in the half. 32 seconds with which to work, and they are 59 yards away from the end zone, trailing by 7. A fake delay. Green stepping up, looking long, and underthrows it. It was intended for Eddie Thomas, and had Corey Barlow seen that the ball was underthrown, he might have had a shot to pick it off.
Absolutely. Eddie Thomas had run down the sideline, was wide open. And there we see that Green, a little bit of a shortcoming in his ability to throw the ball deep downfield.
So Mackey Smith is on the punt. Shane Wasden back to receive, and a high snap and dropped, and the kick is blocked. Auburn recovers inside the Indiana 25.
I should have made the point earlier, even seconds on the clock. It was important for Indiana to move this ball because they did not want to give Auburn an easy chance at a field goal and add more to that lead. High snap, a slippery turf, combined to make it a tough situation to get this punt off. And this man has an average of 42.5.
Bilesma appeared to block it, and Roy Hunter came up with a recovery. White under pressure. Gets it away out of bounds. Incomplete, stopping the clock with 12 seconds remaining in the half. Rick Farrell and Mark Hagan putting the pressure on White.
White can afford to take a chance on that first play, going for the end zone right away. I think this next play selection, he should look for something, get the ball on the best possible turf they can. If they go for a field goal, the way it looks, they should keep it on that hash mark. Or try one pass to the left side of the field on the sideline to stop the clock. If they don't, they'll have to use a timeout.
2nd and 10 from the 24. Into the end zone, overthrown and incomplete. It was intended for Herbert Casey. Jim Summerall had the coverage. And with 7 seconds left, the field goal unit will come out for Auburn.
The two Pats on the sideline, Dye and Sullivan, opting to go for the touchdown in that play.
Jim Von Weil made a 26-yarder in the second quarter, missed a 45-yarder back in the first. This will be a 41-yard attempt. He hit it well, but it is wide to the right. So Weil, who has done an outstanding job throughout the season, has been able to make only 1 of 3 so far. 2 seconds left on the clock. Auburn, however, still holding a 7-point lead here in the first half.
Well, Von Weil could have used a little bit of help that time from his offensive unit. If they had taken the time to run one play, maybe push him a little bit closer to that goal line, he would have had a better chance to make this. He gets a good foot into it. He gets it away. The footing seems good there, but I think he already knew as soon as he kicked it that was not going to be good. A lot of stress for kickers. I mean, they live and die for these moments. You know? They never know when they're coming. When they do, they want to take advantage of it and be the hero.
Indiana will just fall on the ball to allow time to expire here in the first half. And it has been a good first half. 17-10, Auburn leading Indiana at halftime of the 23rd annual Peach Bowl here on ABC during Bowl Fest week. I think for the most part, Swanee, the Indiana defense, after the first half of the first quarter, has done what they need to do, and that is help their team stay close here.
I think so. The Indiana offense has done well. They've made some mistakes. They haven't taken advantage of every opportunity in their field position, but their defense should consider that, you know, even though they're down by 7 points, they have played well. They are still very much in this ball game. Indiana should regroup, not get down on themselves, and then go after them.
Let's go down the field now to Susan Hunt, who's with Coach Pat Dye of Auburn.
Thanks, Steve. Coach, I know you said that you wanted your team to come out here and really take control from the beginning, and it seems they did just that, even though they had maybe a lapse.
Well, I don't think necessarily we had a lapse. We hurt ourselves with penalties. And, you know, we helped them considerably on that touchdown drive. And then, of course, they got the fumble on the kickoff and got the other field goal. But, you know, I think we're playing hard, and it's just a matter of us not hurting ourselves with mistakes.
Okay, what do you tell them quickly when you go into the locker room?
Well, we gotta just, you know, we kind of gotta quit lining up all sides and jumping all sides and the procedure calls on offense. So just the little mental mistakes that we're making. Kids are playing hard, and you know, we're getting some pressure on the quarterback. They making some plays too. So it's a football game. We got to play much better the second half.
Okay, Coach. Thanks a lot. Back to you, Steve.
Thank you, Susan. 15-10. It has been an interesting first half. We'll show you highlights in just a minute. But right now, let's take an opportunity to bring you up to date on what's coming up on noon. They should provide some good matchups and interesting football, but I'll tell you what, we've had some pretty good football played right here so far this afternoon. The difference in the game with Auburn leading by 7 would probably have to be, Swanee, the passing of Stan White.
Yes, he avoided a couple of passes that could have been picked off. Mike Dumas was in position to pick off a couple, but it didn't happen. He drove the team down the field, running the first touchdown and throwing for another, but really keeping the Indiana defense off balance. He hasn't made the turnovers. He seems to be in complete control. But what he needs to do for the second half is to come out and not just score a touchdown drive on the opening drive of each quarter as he did in the first half, control it from beginning to end.
Well, Indiana will have their work cut out for them as well. I think that the Hoosiers feel like they're where they wanted to be, is within striking distance, but they're going to have to be a little more consistent in the second half.
Much more consistent, but there's a big hole in their foot because they've been shooting themselves in the foot. They get the ball, they start a drive, and then there's a sack, or there's a tackle for a loss, or there's an untimely penalty that gets them in a position of first and long. Then they've got to march 20 or 15 yards for first down, and they haven't been able to do that very successfully. They do have points on the board. They're in striking distance, but they have to come up with some big plays, I think, more defensively than offensively.
Well, in the first part of the first quarter, when Auburn received the opening kickoff, they did, in fact, go all the way down the field and score, and it was freshman quarterback Stan White who culminated that with a running touchdown of 6 yards.
And a play like this goes a long way to calming the nerves, getting everybody into a groove. I anticipate at that point for Auburn just to take over and dominate, but that was not the case.
Indiana got things together after struggling on their first couple of possessions, and they too mounted a good drive. And their quarterback, Trent Green, took it in from 3 yards out to tie the score.
He did not want Auburn to get way out in front, a little pride on the line. He takes the ball and just sprints to the sideline for the touchdown.
Then that passing game of Auburn's came into being as Herbert Casey caught a 48-yarder from Stan White to set up another touchdown.
They've been running the ball fairly well. Herbert Casey, number 20, comes down, makes a great catch over the shoulders to set up a very interesting touchdown by Alex Smith, number 21. Alex will take this over his inside shoulder after Stan delivers a very good pass. He really should have turned to the outside to make this catch. He bobbles it a bit. He's in the end zone. And do you think he's going to celebrate? Oh, yeah.
And Herbert Casey, who has been their second leading receiver for Auburn, has caught 3 balls for 89 yards already in the first half. So it's 17.
Peach Bowl. Brought to you by Head and Shoulders. Because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. And by Mercury. Nothing moves you like a Mercury.
Welcome back to Atlanta. And before we kick off the second half, let's take a look at the first half statistics. And as is the scoreboard, it's weighted a little bit in Auburn's favor, and in particular, the passing yardage.
Absolutely, 191. You see their total is 246. Unfortunately, they also dominate in turnovers, and they have a number of penalty calls against them. Indiana, surprisingly, they had the ball more often in terms of time, but they were not able to do very much with it, yet there are only 7 points down. That's very important. You see, take a look at where Auburn has possessed of the football. They started out in their own 20, scored a touchdown. They had good field position throughout the day. The longest drives were for touchdowns, 38 and 20 from their own 38 and 20. And then Indiana gets the ball. They don't start out very well, 3 plays and they're out. Their second possession very strong with 12 plays, and they were spotty. They look good in some possessions. You know, they make mistakes, they get dropped back, and then suddenly they're punting and missing field goals.
On the field right now, Susan Hunt has Indiana head coach Bill Mallory. Susan?
Thanks, Steve. Well, Coach, a lot of people would say this is a lot closer game than they anticipated.
Well, I don't know about that. We expect it to be close.
Stan White, hot hand in the first.
He's playing as well as we've seen him play for a while, and we're going to have to do a good job of tightening up our coverage and putting some pressure on him. We're not getting to him. He's having too much time to throw the ball.
Young team out there. What'd you tell them going in the locker room?
Well, just come back. We've got to play hard for 30 minutes, and they will. It's just imperative we cut out a few mistakes. We've done a lot of good things, and yet there were some things in there that were costly to us, and we just have to cut those mistakes out the second half.
kind of adjustments are you making?
Well, not really anything. You know, I think our game plan's good. It's just a matter of execution, as I said, with a little better soundness in a few areas. We had a high snap on that punt. We had a block, and that's something we haven't had happen, and we just got to put that behind us and come right back. Everything has to be just a little bit better.
Thanks a lot, Coach,
Okay.
and we'll send it back upstairs to Steve.
Thank you, Susan. And the other factor, I think, Swanee, is that how much more of a factor is this field going to become as it gets chewed up? It did contribute to the block punt because the punter slipped after he caught the high snap. The one good thing is that we haven't really had any more rain since this morning.
That's correct, but here's the way you have to look at it. It's not going to change here in the second half. It is going to remain the same. You can't focus on it. You've got to just go out and concentrate on your own execution. Auburn has the same problem. The field's going to be slippery for them. They came out and they executed to the points of a 7-point difference in this ball game. I think what Bill has to really be concerned about is will they continue to pick on number 13, Mike Middleton, in his secondary.
Mike Middleton has the kickoff and is back out to about the 25 before he is knocked down. And that is where Indiana, who actually won the toss to open the ball game but elected to defer to the second half, now takes possession, trailing by 7. Trent Green getting some last-minute instructions as he tries to get the offense cranked up a little bit earlier in the half than was the case opening the ball game.
They had very little success running the football in the first half. Indiana only amounted 31 yards in rushing effort. I think the defensive line of Auburn will put their ears back and put more pressure on him passing.
And on first down, he is passing, and it is complete to Rob Turner. Eric Ramsey made the hit right away. But still a decent gain of about 6 or 7.
Take a look at Trent Green dropping back to pass. He's going to hit Rob Turner, number 25. Caught 30 passes on the year, averaging 23 yards a catch. Had 6 touchdowns, and first time we've called his name today.
Gain of 6. It'll be second down and 4. That's right. He has been their leading receiver, but they just don't throw that much. Play action fake. And Green fires it incomplete. It was again intended for Rob Turner, but he was covered by Corey Barlow.
Rob Turner had a groin pull. Did not practice until Thursday of this week, and that's the reason for him not starting in this ball game. But the coaches told us that he would play as much today as he played any other time during the season.
You can see that Green has been effective when he has thrown the ball. He's only had 2 incompletions now, but he just has not passed that much. And part of that has been on certain attempts. He's been under pressure and had to run or eat it. And now it's 3rd and 4. Indiana at their own 32. Fake to Dunbar. Green eluding pressure, now hit from behind, and the ball goes out of bounds. It'll be ruled an incompletion. Ricky Sutton with the big hit after Green had gotten away from Benny Pierce.
Excellent play. They put their ears back. They just came after him. You'll see the pressure here. Pierce will go by him first. Number 97. That's Ricky Sutton, number 92, coming in from the backside.
So Shane Wasden has dropped back deep to receive Mackie Smith's punt. And Smith, a line drive, wobbly kick. It takes a good Indiana bounce and goes inside the 20. Wasden lets it roll to the 8-yard line.
Big mistake by Shane Watson on that particular play.
It turns out to be a 60-yard punt covered by John Martin, number 53. And Wasden really should have come up.
He should move up. The rule of thumb for a punt returner is you line up 40 yards from the line of scrimmage. The guy's going to punt the ball somewhere between 35, maybe a little 40-yard punt in the air. If it's short, you've got time to come up for it. That time that punt looked like it hit about 30 yards downfield and rolled for 30. Of course, we won't say that in the record books, will it?
No, it'll be a 60-yard punt regardless, and it's 2 yards short of the longest punt in Indiana history, which was 62 yards. But Auburn backed up 1st and 10 at their own 8. Williams almost fumbled the pitch and gets across the 10 to about the 13 before Dave Anay, the strong safety, comes up to make the stop.
I'll reiterate some of the concerns that these football teams had coming into this ball game. For the Indiana defense, they were concerned about the offensive line lining up of Auburn and driving them off the ball, marching down the field. We may see Auburn in the second half try and do a little bit more of that and wear them out.
They gained 5 on that play, so it's 2nd and 5. Williams again. And Darrell Williams across the 15, short of a first down, but he does pick up 2 or 3 before Brian Honeycutt, a senior from Indianapolis, Indiana, brings him down. Pat Sullivan signaling the plays in to Stan White. Third and 1.
Stan White had good stats in the first half. 14 for 22, 191 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. But at the end of that first half, he missed his last 5 passes in a row.
Williams has the first down and then some. Out to the 32 before again strong safety Dave Anay can bring him down. A 15-yard run for Darrell Williams. And a penalty flag is down.
I think it may be a late hit.
It is a personal foul, a dead ball foul after the play was over against Indiana.
We'll take another look. 45, Darrell Williams, 5'9", 189 pounds, quick, strong. He gets great blocking up front. He just scampers right through. Now he's down, and there's the hit by number 95 as he just, that's Charles Beauchamp, who came in and just laid the stick on the back.
So the tack on of 15 yards moves the ball out to the 47 of Auburn. And the Tigers have moved now from their own 8-yard line on this drive. 12.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Auburn leading by 7.
He's audibilizing, changing the play around.
Play action. White looking deep. Tipped and incomplete. It was intended for Hubert Casey, and Herbert Casey almost tipped the ball to Dale Overton.
Let me tell you right now, number 10 Richardson is saying thank you to my teammates right now. Watch him back up. He comes up and he slips and falls down. He's down. That's a turf tackle right there. All right. And then Dumas comes over and makes the play. Now, when you've got an All-American at safety who's reading what's happening, who's keeping his head in this ball game, and you make a mistake like that, you turn around and say, hey, thank you very much. I owe you one.
And he made the play that saved the touchdown. White is now 0 for his last 6. There goes Tony Richardson, but not far. Hervin McCormick, Mike Middleton, and Larry McDaniel all there to greet him.
Going back to Mike Dumas for just a second, a lot of people will look at his statistics and say, well, you know, he didn't have that great a year. He had 3 interceptions, although he made a lot of tackles. Plays like that you don't see in record books. You don't see a number for the number of times you save one of your teammates and you stop an apparent touchdown. Plays like that make you an All-American.
That's for sure. And Dumas has been doing it for 4 years. White completes it to the tight end, Fred Baxter, who is hammered right away. Dave Anay, the strong safety, coming up quickly. Pat Sullivan, of course, the all-time leader. Reggie Slack, who just completed his career, 2nd on the list. And look where Stan White is already in his freshman year.
And keep in mind, Pat Sullivan,
it may have been blocked. Indiana will have it at the 43. And Mike Dumas does it again. He's everywhere.
He is all over the place.
Richie Nell punting for the first time. Had Dumas all over it, and it was recovered.
We'll take a look. There's a snap. Foot's got to be a little wet and cold there. There's Dumas in on the block.
Looked like Jeff Colad, number 30, a freshman wide receiver, made the recovery of the blocked punt. And Indiana will now have excellent field position. Still trailing by 7. Play action fake. Trent Green firing and completing it. Eddie Thomas pulls it down and stays inbounds for an Indiana first down.
Eddie Thomas, 195 pounds, a senior, doing a real good job. is a highly recruited young man coming out of high school.
First and 10. Now Indiana at the Auburn 43. Dunbar blasted by Alex Thomas as he crossed the line of scrimmage, but fell forward for a gain of about 5.
Dunbar hits that line very quick, but his head's up, and he's got what you call good eyes. He's good vision. He's looking all the time, seeing where the hole is opening up, looking for an opening somewhere else to run to. He doesn't just cut because, well, he thinks it's time to cut. He's broken through. He's cutting because he's looking for that hole, for that opening, another block downfield.
That's the mark of a good runner, when you can improvise, and it's hard to do that if you don't know what's happening in front of you. Second down and 4. Trying to get outside is Ernie Thompson, and he will not make it. In fact, he will lose yardage back near the 40. Ricky Sutton in there along with Tate and Crawford.
Take a look at the defense. The defense does a good job of taking the first step, very aggressive, playing off the block, working down the line of scrimmage. That's Rocker right there. Then he's in on the play.
It's a loss of 2 back to the 41, or the 39 rather. Third down and 6.
They're blitzing.
Green under big pressure gets away. Incomplete. Dunbar did a fine job of coming over there and one-hopped the ball and looked as if it might have been a reception. It wasn't really even intended for him. It didn't appear. But the incompletion will bring up fourth down, and David Rocker in there putting pressure on again.
Looked like Coleman, 84, was over there trying to make the catch.
So Mackey Smith on to punt. Shane Wasden again drops back for Auburn around the 10. Very high. Spiral headed for the end zone. It lands just across the goal line, and so the touchback will bring it out to the 20. A 39-yard punt for Mackey Smith, and 9:14 remaining in the third quarter. Auburn still leading 14 or 17 to 10.
In the Peach Bowl, you know, you may have noticed today on Indiana's helmets a couple of black stickers. I'd like to tell you what they're in memory of, or I should say whom. Tony Anderson, the equipment manager for Indiana, passed away last spring, and just this past December they lost their athletic director at the school for 12 years, Ralph Floyd. So I'm sure Indiana's playing with an awful lot of heart today, not only to win the bowl for themselves, but for Ralph and Tony. Back to you, Steve.
Thank you, Susan. Tony Anderson, the equipment manager, only 34 years old when he suddenly passed away. Auburn with a first and 10 at their own 20 after the touchback on the punt, and the pitch goes to Tony Richardson. And Richardson gains a couple is all before Charles Beauchamp, the left side defensive end, brings him down.
I think Auburn has to be somewhat surprised at the speed and aggressiveness of the front seven for Auburn. They have really stayed with them, taking on their blocks, shutting down a lot of the lanes, except for that one big run that Williams made. They really have held them effectively.
Here is the War Eagle.
His name is Tiger.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Yeah, the Auburn Tigers.
Darrell Williams, again, nothing happening. Paul Williams, who wears the unlikely number of 29 for a nose guard, knocked him down right at the line of scrimmage. So it'll be third down, and as you pointed out, Swanee, Indiana's defensive front doing the job.
They seem to have the tiger by the tail. I've been dying to say it all day. I mean, just to throw it in there.
Might as well get rid of it now.
Yeah, it's gone.
Third down and 10. White dumps it off to Williams. Williams with great second effort, but he's going to be short of the first down.
Davenay and others coming in, making sure he doesn't get that first down.
Damon Watts, Davenay, and Mike Middleton finally stopping him after he got away from John Miller. So Auburn will punt it away on 4th and 2. That broke a string of 0 for 6 for White passing.
Are they lined up off sides? For a moment there, it looked like...
Well, a flag just went down. The flag went down at the ball. The illegal procedure against Auburn. So you spotted it.
On the offense.
Rob Turner back to receive for Indiana, and they'll move Auburn 5 yards further back. The barefooted Richie Nell, a senior from Satsuma, Alabama, will kick it away. Low snap, and he just does get it away. Turner from his own 47 to about the 50, and that's all as he's tripped up by Jason Merchant. 7:25 to go. A 30-yard punt, a 3-yard return here in the third quarter. The Hoosiers of Indiana will again enjoy excellent field position as they start their second drive of the second half. 1st and 10 at midfield. Auburn leading by 7. Fake to Dunbar and a beautiful play fake. Green looking long, incomplete, intended for Taylor, but overthrown. Turner, I should say. Rob Turner, the intended receiver.
Well, Green got back in the pocket after a very good fake. Plenty of time. Looked like he was a good 10 yards back in his drop. Stood there firm, both feet underneath him, got everything into it, but unfortunately about 5 yards too much into it. Take a look at the time. A little play action there. The line of defensive line is just reading. They're being blocked out, and he just heaves this when Turner's got good speed, but he just can't make it across for that catch.
So it's 2nd down and 10. Dunbar to about the 45, tripped up by Ricky Sutton.
The defense of Auburn has been reading a good deal more than I anticipated. I thought they'd be much more aggressive in terms of their charge coming off the ball. Indiana has tried on 3rd down to throw the football. They tried screens and draws. I think they'll read a little bit here, not take a chance on the blitz, play a basic zone coverage.
Green with time, batted in the air and incomplete. Walter Tate, the nose guard, got a hand up and batted it out of bounds. It's 4th and 5.
Big Walter Tate. His nickname is Barbecue.
Gee, I wonder why.
I wonder why at 306 pounds. I like that nickname better than the other one he has.
Which is that?
Wally.
Wally?
Yeah, Wally the Walrus.
Mackey Smith on to punt again, and Shane Wasden drops back for Auburn. High hanger. Wasden with a fair catch. And he's tackled at the 18. Now the official didn't throw the flag and apparently didn't see him signal for a fair catch.
No, there is a flag on the field.
Thrown behind the play by the referee. Charles Beauchamp hit him and knocked him down, but the official right in front of Wasden didn't drop the flag. And I'll tell you, Auburn was complaining, but the interference on the fair catch is going to be the signal against Indiana.
Well, take a look. Now, he signaled already for the fair catch, and what he did after that was he was just running to make the catch. Now, in defense of Beauchamp, he's on the other side. He may not have seen that fair catch. All he probably saw was Wasden running to make the catch. He's making the catch. He slides into him. He figures, I'll make the tackle. And he does. The fact that he made it with his hip and his knee and his calf has nothing to do with it.
Oh, you got a little arm around the neck.
Absolutely not.
So it moves it out to the 34. 1st and 10 Auburn. White. Incomplete. He threw it behind the intended receiver, tight end Fred Baxter. Had a little pressure from Greg Farrell.
Greg Farrell comes in. It was almost like he was moving in slow motion. He comes in. His arms were out like he was making a tackle, and he came at White almost as if he could not believe he had a free shot at him.
Well, it's getting foggier by the moment here.
Yeah. Earlier this morning, there was enough fog where I thought we had the college football version of the Fog Bowl played in Chicago with the Bears and the Eagles.
Darrell Williams breaking a tackle and getting near a 1st down. He may have it as he's out near the 45 before Matt Eganoff brings him down. It is a first down and a gain of 12.
I said earlier I thought that Indiana's defense needed to make the big play to get them back in this ball game, tie it up here in the second half. Still believe that. They've got to create the turnover, maybe even take it in for the touchdown.
Williams again. But this time he only gets just across the line of scrimmage before Brian Honeycutt makes the stop. 5 minutes, 45 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Auburn leading Indiana 17-10.
It's kind of interesting. Rob Turner for Indiana has returned 2 punts for touchdowns, but Auburn hasn't punted the football yet, have they?
Just twice.
Just twice?
And this one complete to tight end Victor Hall, who's been a big factor. Mike Middleton made the stop, and Hall has a gain of about 5 or 6. Make it 5 to the 50.
That seemed to happen. They seem to have punted the ball such a long time ago. Just 2 punts today. That's a small number.
And I think Turner was only back on one of those 2 punts. Third down and 5. White completes it over the middle to Fred Baxter. But Baxter will be short of the first down as he's dropped by Mark Hagan shy of the Indiana 45, and Auburn will have to punt it.
And finally, Mark Hagan, man, we thought would be all over the place today. We have not seen him call his name out a great deal. He's playing in the middle just right that time.
So Richie Nell back to punt, only the 3rd time Auburn has kicked, and it is Rob Turner.
Hello, my name is Nicole Swan. I am from North Carolina. I'd like to say Happy New Year to my family, Mom, Dad, and everybody else. Happy New Year.
Another of our season's greetings from the Middle East during the Bowl Fest here on ABC. Indiana 1st and 10 at their own 14. They trail by 7. Nearing the end of the 3rd quarter. More fog falling into the stadium. Vaughn Dunbar nowhere to go and nowhere to hide. John Wilson with good penetration.
Stan White on the sideline. He has to be feeling very good about the game he is having thus far. Not making the big errors, staying pretty much in control of himself and his offensive unit. He is still not out of the woods. However, back out in the playing field, Trent Green trying to lead this Indiana offense, and they keep getting hit for early downs for a loss with no yardage.
2nd down 11, so they have to go to the air again, and it's complete. Rod Coleman, the tight end, finally run out of bounds by Benny Pierce. But Coleman has a first down and a gain of 15. Well, New Year's Eve, it's the season finale of ABC's Monday Night Football here on ABC. The Los Angeles Rams will be at the Superdome to take on their NFC West rivals, the New Orleans Saints. Big game for the Saints, by the way. They're still alive for the playoff spot, depending on what happens here with the Atlanta Falcons and Dallas tomorrow. ABC's New Year's celebration begins at 8 Eastern on ABC's Monday Night Football New Year's Eve. 1st and 10. Pump fake going deep. Overthrown. Almost intercepted.
Eric Ramsey, number 27, was a man back on the coverage of number 25, Rob Turner. Trent Green dropped back, faked it. Good thing he did, because he had a big man right in that throwing lane if he intended to let the short out pattern go.
You're watching the Peach Bowl, the 23rd annual event here on ABC. Auburn leading 17-10 over Indiana with 3:32 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Steve Zabriskie and Lynn Swan with you from Fulton County Stadium here in Atlanta.
Susan Hunt on the sideline.
Susan Hunt making her ABC debut. Penalty flag goes down.
Right into the pile of face mask.
Might have been that Dunbar was pulled down by the face mask. And as he punched it out there for about a 5 or 6 yard gain, a gain of 8 actually.
He had his head down as just driving through, and a hand reached up and grabbed it.
It is face mask.
We'll take a look. Have a clear shot right in the middle. Looking for some place to run. There's contact. There's the hand. Darrell Crawford, number 56, is the man. I was trying to tell the coach, I just wanted to see if it was screwed on tight. I didn't really mean to do it.
That's easy to have happen when you're grabbing for a ball carrier. You get what you can get. Sometimes it, unfortunately, is a face mask. At the 40 after the penalty, 1st and 10, Indiana. A lot of time for Trent Green. Gaining 3 or 4 and averting a loss as everybody was covered. Alex Thomas finally ran him out of bounds.
One thing that should always be taught to a wide receiver is when your quarterback is in trouble and you're scrambling, you come back to your quarterback. I don't care how deep you're running the pattern. I don't care how far away you are. If he's running away from you, you've got to start running back to him, because if he's got his head up and looks around and you break back to the ball, you might get a cushion on the defensive back. It might be a big play.
When the big guys are chasing you as a quarterback, you are looking for help. Dunbar the ball carrier, but not much happening. Darrell Crawford, David Rocker.
Looked like a bowler after throwing a strike. I got it, yes.
Adrian Jackson, freshman out of Mobile, also in on the tackle. 3rd down and 5. Somebody isn't too enthralled.
He'll see it on videotape once he's a little bit older.
Screen over the middle of Dunbar, hit immediately. Coming up very quickly was Alex Thomas.
Alex Thomas was there. Darrell Crawford was there. Auburn's getting a good outside rush on the passer in these situations, which is allowing the linebackers to kind of hang in there and look for that screen.
So Mackey Smith on the punt for Indiana. And again, it's Shane Wasden who has dropped back deep and around his own 20. Good high hanging kick. And Wasden with a fair catch at the 15. A 41-yard kick. Let's go down on the field again to Susan Hunt.
Thanks, Steve. You know, the city of Atlanta and the Peach Bowl committee planned an awful lot of events for the players while they're here in Atlanta. Many of them had pep rallies. Certainly there were parades. But for the Auburn Tigers, they took time out of their busy schedule, and they went to the Scottish Rite Children's Hospital. Now, they had a chance to visit with an awful lot of appreciative kids. They shared a lot of cheer. In fact, the cheerleaders were there as well as the players. And I do know that they truly did love the visit. So we'll send it back to Steve.
Thank you, Susan. Even the Tiger himself was there. Auburn 1st and 10 at their own 15. Williams hammered as he gets to the line of scrimmage, but managed to fall forward for a couple. Paul Williams, one of the first to make contact, and Charles Beauchamp.
Of course, when many of the teams are down for the bowl games, you know, both teams do go out to visit the kids, as Indiana did as well. You know, and it's a great motivational tool and inspiration for these kids when they're in their hospital, to see these guys that they watch on TV come out and spend a little time with them and to kind of touch a dream.
Someday they hope, too, to be out of that bed and on a field such as this. 2nd down and 8. White flipping it to his tight end, Victor Hall. And Hall thought he should have gotten more, but he may have gotten enough for a 1st down as he's out near the 25. Time running out in the quarter.
Dumas came up and made one of those flying ankle tackles. He didn't grab anything, but he just kind of knocked it up there. One of the defensive coaches over there for Auburn just talking to the players. Their defensive coordinator is Wayne Hall. He's an aggressive football player himself. Played linebacker.
Time called for the measurement. 40 seconds remaining in the quarter, and it's just enough for a first down for Auburn. That is the 16th first down for Auburn from their own 25 near the end of the third quarter. White rolling, pressure, but he gets it away deep. Out of bounds. Caught by Dale Overton, but even though he tried to stretch it and keep a toe in, he couldn't do it. Well, a reminder again that Bowl Fest will culminate here on ABC on New Year's Day. First at 1:30 Eastern, the action will kick off with the Florida Citrus Bowl from Orlando. Number 2 Georgia Tech taking aim at that national title when they take on the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Then at 4:45 Eastern, the granddaddy of them all, Iowa, battling the Washington Huskies in the Rose Bowl. And then the finale will be the Virginia Cavaliers in New Orleans to face Tennessee's Volunteers in the USF&G Sugar Bowl. Bowl Fest 91 New Year's Day here on ABC. Complete over the middle again. It's Fred Baxter, as Stan White has been using the tight ends very effectively. And a big gain out to the 33 as time will run out here in the third quarter. Welcome back to the Peach Bowl as we start the final 15 minutes of play. Auburn leading Indiana 17-10. Auburn with a 3rd and 2 from their own 38. Play action fake. White dumps it off to Victor Hall. And Hall has the first down for Auburn. Just to give you an idea of how much more often Auburn is going to the tight ends than they ordinarily do. Stan White has now completed 20 of 32 passes for about 230 yards. Well, of those 20 completions, 11 of them have been to his 2 tight ends, Baxter and Hall.
And Pat Sullivan said he wanted to get the tight ends more involved in this game to control the passing.
Alex Smith finds a hole and gets out near the 45 before John Miller and Brian Honeycutt bring him down.
Well, let's take a look. Auburn Tigers 7-1 when leading after 3 quarters. Indiana Hoosiers, ooh, not good.
Indiana's inability to throw the ball with any effectiveness is really, I think, the contributing factor to that, man, and that may hurt them here today, especially if Auburn were to get a score on this possession. Second down. Tony Richardson carrying.
Flag is thrown on the play.
We'll see what referee Jack Baker indicates. Pat Dye certainly an interested party. It is dead ball illegal procedure against Auburn. Boy, we've seen a lot of illegal procedure penalties. At this point in the season, coaches have no patience for that type of penalty.
Well, it's penalties like that seem to be a result of a lack of concentration. If you're not hearing the play count in the huddle, if you're lining up incorrectly, if you're not getting off the ball, if you're supposed to be in the backfield as a flexed receiver, all those things demonstrate a lack of concentration.
10 penalties on the Tigers today. Second down. And again, it's the tight end, Victor Hall. And Hall has the first down before he's dragged down by Mark Hagan.
Hall came into this game 16 catches for 120 yards and 1 touchdown. But the feeling is that he could be a much, much better tight end. He's got the size, he's got the talent and ability, but he just hasn't used it consistently throughout the year.
Ball, a junior from Anniston, Alabama. And White on first down to pass again. Looking long and completing it. Herbert Casey once again, and another big play for a first down for Auburn.
Herbert Casey doing a terrific job today in the absence of their #1 receiver, Greg Taylor. Take a look at Herbert, number 20. She comes out. He is making the big plays for the Auburn team in the air. Simple down and out pattern. Rounds it off just a bit. No one near him. Now here comes the safety. Dumas up to make a hit.
Casey caught a 48-yarder in the first half to set up a touchdown. This one a 22-yard reception. 1st and 10, Auburn from the 26. James Joseph, the ball carrier for short yardage. Let's go down on the field once again. And Susan Hunt.
All right, well, Steve, I'm down here with Greg Taylor, and he's not used to being in street clothes, I can tell you that, especially you are the favorite receiver out there. It's got to be hard for you sitting on the sidelines watching Stan today.
Yes, it was quite hard for me coming into this game. I tried to pretend like it wasn't going to bother me, but today when the players came out on the field, it really bothered me, and I just wish I was out there today to help them out. When I hurt my thumb in the 3rd quarter at the Alabama game, I really didn't think it was a big deal, but that Monday came around, I found out I was broke, so I found out I was going to be able to play.
All right, well, listen, we hope that hand gets better soon, and we'll send it back to Steve.
Thank you, Susan, and our best, of course, to Greg. Darrell Williams, the ball carrier, but a penalty flag down as he picked up just a couple of yards, and Auburn's going to be moved back once again.
Greg Taylor must be a pretty tough player. You go out in a ball game and you break your thumb, and you don't think it's so bad.
Play
you
the
just
rest of the game.
Play the rest of the game. No big deal, huh?
Not too bad. Afterward, he found out differently. So it'll be 2nd down again after the holding penalty. Now 11 penalties against Auburn in the game.
The timing of penalties is so critical. You don't want them in the first place. But here's a good drive marching down the field. They've got it 2nd and long, but they get the penalty. Now they're backed up. They've got 17 yards or so to go for a 1st down. Taking them out of field goal range if they can't move the ball.
Twin wideouts on the left side, the wide side of the field. Here comes a blitz. And fortunately, Stan White able to get away. Irvin McCormick was coming like a runaway truck, and at 270 pounds, Stan might have noticed the contact had it been made.
I think so. But Stan did a very good job of just getting rid of the ball, although he should still continue to be careful of those kinds of passes. You know, he's in under pressure. He's moving around. He may not have seen a linebacker that may have moved into position. He's throwing the ball away. You throw it out of bounds, or you throw it in the dirt 5 yards in front of you.
Now it is 3rd and 16. And it's complete to Wasden. Shane Wasden will be short of the 1st down as he's only able to get to about the 25 before John Miller trips him up. And in fact took his shoe right off his foot. So Jim Von Weil will come in to attempt yet another field goal. Von Weil today has managed to make only 1 of 3.
Take another look at the last pass play. Stan gets it off. He breaks 1 tackle. He's a good punt returner, good runner in the open field, but he couldn't make it happen on that play.
It's a 43-yard attempt for Von Weil. He has missed both from over 40 yards in the game. And Mike Dumas may have gotten a hand on it, but it's good.
How bad would you feel if you're Mike Dumas and you did get a hand on it, but you only knocked it through helped him knock it through the uprights?
Von Weil now 2 of 4, and what could turn out to be a big 3 points. There's Dumas. Did he touch it? 20-10 Auburn. Von Dunbar back to receive the kickoff along with Mike Middleton as Chris Dickinson hits it, and it's Middleton who takes it at the 10. Skating on that wet turf. A good return out across the 35. And some late and extracurricular activity going on after the whistle.
This is the first time these two schools have ever played each other. And in a situation like that, Indiana trying to gain more respect as a football power, Auburn already, a wealth of respect for its ability on the turf. These teams are trying to establish a reputation with each other, and they want to be physical, they want to play hard, they both want to come away with the win. Indiana is a young program, but they don't want to play second fiddle to anyone. And it doesn't matter whether they're behind, doesn't matter whether they're out front, they want it to be a physical game and make that contact.
Now they have a very, very important drive with 11:27 left to go in the game. Auction on 1st down. Green diving across the 40 for good yardage. As the fog thickens here in Atlanta, Darrell Crawford made the stop. Stacy Danley has been one of the top runners for Auburn. Senior, not able to play in the game.
Well, you can be dressed on the sideline and your team can be out in front, but if you're accustomed to being in there, that's a very hollow feeling you have inside.
Gain of 5 for Trent Green. 2nd and 5. Fake to Dunbar. Green with a lot of time. Incomplete. Knocked away at the last minute by Alex Thomas. Intended for Eddie Thomas.
Excellent defensive coverage by Auburn. Deep man's covered. They have an inside receiver coming across. Number 12 is Corey Barlow. He starts to go in on the run. Comes back out in time, but he gets help by number 24.
Alex Thomas looked like he got a little hand on Eddie Thomas.
Oh, just a little hand.
Got away with it. You're familiar with that.
Yeah, but I jump up yelling to the official, hey, his hand's all over me.
Those DBs will do anything, right?
Yeah, those touchy-feely kind of guys.
3rd down and 5. Dunbar. 1st down. Vaughn Dunbar running hard. Corey Barlow made the stop for Auburn. Indiana with a 1st down at about their own 47.
Dunbar is accustomed to carrying the load on the offense, but you see here today 17 rushes, only 51 yards. He hasn't really been able to get to the outside and turn on the jets to make the big play.
Auburn, with outstanding team speed defensively, has really shut down the big play as far as Indiana is concerned. Flags fly as Auburn jumped off sides. Green with a free play completes it to Rob Turner, who slipped and fell, covered by Barlow. And again, that loose turf coming into play, but remember the flag. It looked like David Rocker again jumped off sides.
David just may be anxious, trying to have the big game in front of the hometown folks.
Well, I would have to believe that penalty is going to be declined. You can see the yardage by half.
Offside on the defense. Penalty is refused. 1st down.
So the gain will stand. It'll be 1st and 10. Indiana at the Auburn 37.
Well, Glenn Edwards used to always say it for the Steelers, and I'm sure these players have heard it from coaches and other players. It's time to make something happen.
10 minutes, as you see, remaining in the game. Indiana trailing by 10. Dunbar taking the fake, and a beautiful play-action pass by Trent Green to Rob Turner, who was the man in motion. But there's a penalty flag at the line of scrimmage once again.
They sent number 7, Eddie Thomas, deep on the post pattern.
Illegal procedure against Indiana. And the Hoosiers hurt themselves now. This is what happened to them, Swanee, early in the game. They had a hard time getting things going. Even though Indiana has not come from behind to win, look at how they've outscored opponents in the 4th quarter.
Illegal procedure on the offense. 6 men on the line of scrimmage. Repeat 1st down.
6 men on the line of scrimmage. Basic things are going wrong here for Indiana. You got to line up correct.
Got to have 7. That negates a 12-yard gain. And so the net result is really a loss of 17 yards.
1st and 15 now?
Well, they have 1st and 10. But it ought to be 1st and 15. The scoreboard is incorrect. Dunbar straight ahead inside the 40 to about the 39 or 38. Carrick and Cunningham on the stop. Just under 40,000 in attendance at the Peach Bowl here for the 23rd edition in 1990.
See numbers for Vaughn Dunbar. In the second half, I have not seen Indiana really vary that offensive attack enough. They haven't come out here to do anything different. offset Auburn's defense.
Green looking long. And it's for Dunbar. Incomplete. Dunbar claiming he was interfered with by Corey Barlow. But no flag.
Look at the end of the play here. See if you can see any pass interference. It's very clean. Plus the fact the receiver really didn't have a chance to make the catch.
No, it has to be a catchable ball, and in the official's opinion, that was not a catchable ball.
Not unless he was 8 feet 5 inches tall and Auburn span of 12 feet. Big third down for Green.
3rd and 11 from the 39 of Auburn. Play action. And complete to Eddie Thomas. Thomas had Eric Ramsey all over him and was somehow able to make the grab for a gain of 20 and a big first down.
That was by far the best pass I've seen thrown here today by Trent Green. We'll take an isolated look at number 7, Eddie Thomas. He runs down the field. He's got man-to-man coverage. He goes outside and rolls over the top. Now watch this. He comes back right there, makes a grab, pinpoint passing. That line was on that pass was on a straight line.
A fine throw and a fine catch by Eddie Thomas. 1st and 10 at the 18 of Auburn. Indiana trailing by 10. On the option, Green cutting it up. Gains 3 to the 15 before Darrell Crawford makes the tackle.
Green's done a good job running this option in terms of reading it, keeping the football. I don't like the way he runs. He's a very tentative runner. He's not that strong. He's kind of a plodder when it comes to the football. Every time he runs the football, I think he's going to get hurt.
Well, he may be perfect for this field, however. You need a plotter out there in this mud. 2nd down, 6. Dunbar cutting it back. 1st down near the 5.
Excellent play selection. You had Reggie Barlow and David Rocker for Auburn's defense rushing upfield hard. Take a look at the low angle. Reggie Barlow is rushing upfield. David Rocker, they're all out of the play. And he just powers his way through for a big gain there at the 6-yard line.
1st and goal from the 6. 7 minutes, 15 seconds remaining in the game. Indiana trailing 20 to 10. The big fullback, Carl Miller. Dennis Wallace on the stop, but Miller takes it down near the 2-yard line.
Miller either left just as that ball was being hiked or got a little gift there. He got a great start on that play.
He was up there in one quick hurry. 9-10 and 2:30. 2nd down and goal from the 2. Option. Green. Touchdown.
Seemed to be wearing the jerseys of his offensive line blocking out in front of him. He was so tight up against their back, just trying to shave off their backs and into the end zone. If they had been blocked and pushed back, they would have fallen right on top of him and stopped their own man.
But he used him well for a shield to make it a 20-16 game. His 2nd rushing touchdown of the day. Now, Swanee, do you go for 2? And the official asking Bill Mallory to get back off the field. Coach Mallory gotten so excited he was 15 yards out on the playing surface. Timeout called by Indiana as they try to decide exactly what it is they are going to do.
While we're in commercial, I'll think about whether they should go for 2.
All right, we'll get the expert opinion when we come right back.
Yeah.
A critical moment for Bill Mallory's Indiana team. They're lined up after scoring a touchdown, deciding on whether to go for 2 or kick the extra point. I would have kicked the extra point. He is going for the 2.
Well, I guess he figures he has a better chance to win if he can get the 2. They are 0 for 2 this year on on 2-point conversions, and Green's not going to get it away. Dennis Wallace blitzing and dropping Trent Green. And the score will remain Auburn 20 and Indiana 16.
I think given the situation, he has a lot more to gain by going for 2. But Auburn, when they get the ball back, now they've got a 4-point lead. Even if they had gotten the 2 points, a field goal would have put them up by 5. As it is, Auburn still leads by 4. We'll be right back.
Stan White opened the scoring on a 6-yard run for Auburn to make it 7-0, and Trent Green came back after a drive on a 3-yard run to tie it at 7. Then in the second quarter, Auburn went ahead by 7. Alex Smith with an 11-yard TD reception. Scott Bunnell kicked a 42-yard field goal for Indiana to make it 14-10 Auburn in the second quarter. Jim Von Weil, a 26-yarder to make it again a 7-point Auburn lead. Von Weil with a 43-yarder after missing 2 from over 40 to make it 20-10. And now Trent Green with a second touchdown, culminating a 64-yard drive to give us a 20-16 score with 6:32 to go in the game. Indiana with a squib kick picked up by Alex Smith. And Smith picks his way out across the 30 near the 35.
That's pretty dangerous when you got a man of Smith's ability catching that squib kick. He had a touchdown run early this year of 66 yards.
And he brought that back 17 yards. So Stan White and company have 6:24 on the clock and a 4-point lead.
Stan White on the day is 24 out of 36, 1 touchdown, 274 yards in this ball game, second only to Pat Sullivan for 350 yards in the Gator Bowl in 1978.
And White only a freshman. Shane Wasden with a screen. Wasden across the 35 before he is knocked down by Paul Williams. Indiana making it a ball game with their fourth quarter touchdown on that 64-yard drive. The big play in the Indiana drive on 3rd and 11. Trent Green hit Thomas with a 20-yard pass. They kept that drive alive, and then of course they eventually took it in, went for 2 and didn't get it. So a 4-point Auburn lead. Darrell Williams nowhere to go. Covered immediately as he got back to the line of scrimmage. Mark Hagan and Matt Eggenoff. And a reminder that at the conclusion of the Peach Bowl, Lynn Swan and I will be selecting a Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the Game from each team. And for the 20th year, Chevrolet's scholarship program will provide $1,000 to the General Scholarship Fund of each school. 3rd down and 7. Short of the first down, Victor Hall makes the reception. Hagan and Miller on the stop for Indiana. And he appears to be a yard or so short.
Well, I mentioned Pat Sullivan's 350 yards. I said 1978. That was 1971. Pat Sullivan looks good for his age, but not that good.
Almost 20 years ago. Well, it probably was 20 years ago because I think it was New Year's Day of 71.
And way back, we showed that graphic of the top passers for Auburn, and Pat Sullivan had the list, but he coached the guys who were 2nd and 3rd underneath him.
And Auburn going for it on 4th and 1 in their own territory. Trying to draw Indiana off sides, I believe.
Yeah, I can't see them actually taking the chance.
Indiana will have none of it. As the 25-second clock ran out, and now being moved back 5 yards, Auburn will punt it away. Richie Nell on to do the punting, and Rob Turner will drop back for Indiana.
Well, Pat Sullivan certainly has done a good job with that man, Stan White. He'll get some help next year. Pat Dye has hired Tommy Bowden from Kentucky to come in to be the offensive coordinator for the Auburn football team.
Son of Florida State head coach Bobby Bowden.
That's correct.
There's Rob Turner. And Richie Nell drops the snap. Indiana has it inside the 30.
So Mike Dumas over there celebrating.
Sean White appeared to be the first in there, along with Jerry McBride.
We'll take a look on the replay. The snap is good. He just drops it. As Dumas comes in, he hits the punter, making sure he can't come in to make the fumble recovery. A host of Indiana players are in there. Right here, Dumas doesn't hit the punter. The punter recovers it. Still, it's Indiana's football deep in Auburn territory.
1st and 10 at the Auburn 29. Dunbar breaking tackles. Still going to the 15. A gain of 14 before Dennis Wallace finally knocks him down. And Indiana, with 4 minutes and 8 seconds remaining in the game, trying to come back down by 4.
And if there's any one group on this Indiana football team that is playing hard, it is that offensive line. Look at Dumas, Dunbar taking advantage of the hole there. They're playing for pride. They're playing for respectability.
Dunbar again pushing his way down near the 10 to about the 12. Alex Thomas in on the stop, along with Benny Pierce. You see the clock and the time remaining in the game. Auburn 20, Indiana 16.
Indiana inside the 20, 33 out of 36 times they've scored points.
And today they are 2 for 2, and both of those touchdowns. 2nd down. And the fullback, Ernie Thompson, finds no running room at all. And it is big David Rocker who stands him up shortly after he takes the handoff.
Pat Dye is serious. David Rocker is serious. He certainly didn't come home to be with his family and friends for Christmas and to bring in 1991 and his last year as an Auburn Tiger to lose. And he certainly doesn't want to lose a game right down here. They missed the 2-point conversion. They can't go for the field goal to tie it up.
3rd down and 6 from the Auburn 11. Bootleg gets away from Rocker. Touchdown! Trent Green with an 11-yard touchdown run, his 3rd rushing touchdown of the day. And for the first time in this Peach Bowl, Indiana has the lead.
Coach trying to get his excited players off the field on the sideline as they go for the extra point.
Scott Bunnell into attempt. Mark Newell to Holder. And he just does get it by the on-rushing Auburn Tigers. It is now Indiana 23, Auburn 20.
Bunnell must like for that ball to be at that stiff angle, that steep angle, because they placed it down at the same angle as they did before. We'll take a look at the bootleg. Trent Green fakes it. David Rocker is right there, but he just cannot grab him and hold on to him. And it's a gutsy effort by Green. He is hit, and he still goes into the end zone. He's diving for it. And he's got Vinny Pierce holding on to him. And Vinny is 6'1", 233 pounds.
And Trent Green, who scored only 3 touchdowns all year long, has scored 3 today to tie the Peach Bowl record. The last to score 3 touchdowns in the Peach Bowl was Rod Stewart of Kentucky in 1976. So Trent Green joining 5 others who have scored 3 touchdowns in the Peach Bowl.
Well, right now their defense, Indiana defense, is going to be in charge of holding Auburn. If they don't, Green might have to score 4.
Scott Bunnell will kick off. Shane Wasden is deep. Bunnell slipping on the turf as he hits it. And it's taken by Cherry. Pedro Cherry breaking a tackle, trying to get out of bounds, and finally does. As he crosses the 30. So Auburn will have fairly good field position after a 29-yard scoring drive when the punt snap was dropped by Richie Nell. Recovered by Indiana at the 29 and in 4 plays, culminating in Trent Green's 11-yard run. Indiana has now a 3-point lead.
An opportunity seized and taken advantage of by Indiana. Now it's up to Auburn on offense.
Under pressure. Is it complete? Yes. Herbert Casey with a reception. One official saying no, the other saying yes.
Well, the official closest to the ball didn't make a call.
It looked to me like it hit the turf.
We'll take a look. He goes down and he's rolling to the outside. Short pass. Casey, look at his hands. His hands are underneath the football. Boy, that's tough. His hands are underneath it, but the ball does hit the ground inside his arms.
They disallow the catch. It's 2nd down and 10. Incomplete. In and out of the hands of Victor Hall. Indiana thinking they have the football, but it's an incomplete pass.
And Victor Hall getting up very, very slowly in that play and running off to the sideline. Take a look at this. You get your hands under the ball right there. He comes in, brings his arm. That's a catch.
And the official right there behind him did not signal incomplete. He thought it was a catch.
Well, he couldn't see it. That's why he's standing there with his arms down. He didn't see the play, so he allowed the receiver inside to make the call. The official inside to make the call.
3rd down and 10. Casey has it.
Iceberg cool. That's Casey.
Mike Dumas made the stop, but not before Casey has a 1st down at the Indiana 44. 2 minutes exactly remaining in the Peach Bowl, a gain of 28 yards. Complete. Dale Overton out of bounds to stop the clock. Run out by John Miller and near another 1st down.
Here's what we're looking at right now, folks. We've got Stan White, who's been playing a great game. 2nd best bowl game performance by an Auburn quarterback. He's got his team. He hasn't made big mistakes. He's marching them down the field, looking for the short controlled passes. He's not panicking. He has enough time to throw the football. He's got enough time to work his team down the field without panicking, without trying to go for it all at one time. Field goal could tie it up for Auburn, but I'm sure Pat Dye is playing for the win.
White has 323 yards passing. Casey again. Down near the 25 before he's dragged down by Jim Summerall.
David Ane, number 4, blitzed on that play. He's coming back to the secondary. But his right arm seems to be hanging a little bit. He may have hurt his shoulder on that play.
1:28 to go in the game. Auburn with no huddle. Joseph. James Joseph running it in the middle. And getting a 1st down inside the 20. Mark Hagan on the stop. One minute, 22 seconds remaining in the game. And look at the game Stan White has had.
Auburn takes a timeout.
We will return to a rocking Fulton County Stadium in Atlanta for the conclusion of the Peach Bowl. Indiana leading by 3.
I can't see a thing. Where are we? Oh, no.
Florida, everybody. I'm Brent Musburger. Coming up next on ABC College Basketball, it'll be Rick Fox and the 7th-ranked Tar Heels of North Carolina matched against the Bald Blue Demons. But before basketball, let's send you back to the Peach Bowl in Atlanta, Georgia.
Thanks, Brent. Be sure to stay tuned for basketball here on ABC. But right now, 1:22 left to decide the Peach Bowl. Indiana by 3. On 1st down, Stan White looking into the end zone, overthrows Casey. Casey has caught 6 passes And they have been big ones.
Well, certainly he has filled the void left by Greg Taylor when he broke his thumb against Auburn, becoming a possession receiver, the man to go to. That time they chose to go to him, even though he was being covered by number 10, Richardson, their best coverage man. I still look for him to go after number 13, Mike Middleton, into the boundary.
Casey with 146 yards in reception. Second down and 10. Over the middle, knocked away by Dumas. What a game Mike Dumas has played as he knocks it away from Casey at the last second.
And that is not as easy a play as it looks. Well, take a look. You see number 20, Casey, in the slide. He's coming off. Dumas comes up, and the timing has to be perfect. If he is a fraction of a second late, it's pass interference. One hand behind, out in front. He comes across, twists the body. Hey, great defensive play.
So now it's 3rd and 10, still at the Indiana 18. Complete to Casey. First down and out of bounds near the 5.
I kept thinking they'd go after number 13, Middleton. Right now, the defensive unit is protecting their pass coverage. They've been playing 5 people short in the zone with the 2 safeties back deep, so not to put him in that one-on-one situation. But White is able to get the ball underneath and move the ball down the field. We take a look at Auburn inside the 20 today, 2 for 2 and 2 touchdowns. We also gave you all those statistics about Auburn having a lead at the end of the half and third quarter, how often they win. Folks, it's coming down to the last minute and 4 seconds of this ball game.
First and goal from the 5. White under pressure. Complete to Smith, who is knocked down at about the 3.
He was hit by Richardson. They're calling it an incomplete pass. Take a look. Great pressure that time by the defense. We've got Stan White rolling, trying to get away from it. The ball's thrown. Doesn't have a lot on it, but what a hit there. That was Mark Hagan, number 47. Excuse me, that makes the hit right here. Boy, that's a tough call.
Did he have possession or not? Officials rule no, so it is 2nd and goal from the 5. Alex Smith straight ahead, near the goal line, but just short. It'll be 3rd and goal, and the timeout called to stop the clock with 49 seconds remaining.
I'll tell you one thing. I would have waited to call that timeout. They can't pick up a first down. 3rd and goal. They got 2 plays to run to get in for the touchdown. And believe me, if they don't get it on 3rd down, Pat Dye's not going to kick the field goal. I think he's going for the touchdown. If they had waited just a little bit, they've got time for the clock to run all the way down. They still have timeouts left. 1 timeout left now to make sure that whatever play they ran was the last play of the ball game.
That's a good point, because they may have to give the ball back to Indiana with enough time for Indiana to do something.
Enough things have happened in this ball game where a kickoff return or something of that nature is not out of the question.
Nope. And Indiana has 2 timeouts remaining should they get the ball back with any appreciable amount of time on the clock. Auburn has 1 timeout remaining. There is Jim Von Weil, the kicker. Will he be called upon? I'm with you, Swanee. I doubt it. I think Pat Dye is going to go for it. He's now got 2 plays to get it in from the 1.
There's now a senior on this Auburn football team that wants to end their career with a tie in the Peach Bowl.
Our thanks today to our spotter Bill Friel and our statistician George Hill for their help and support in the booth. 3rd and goal from the 1. Auburn trailing by 3. Diving. Did Joseph get over? Apparently not.
Hagan seemed to come around from the outside, grab him by the waist. He did not get in. Take a look. Or is that's 38? Right there, you see number 47, Hagan, comes in and makes a stop. Right here is where James Joseph should have that ball out in front of him over that line for the touchdown.
Auburn now uses their final timeout with 39 seconds remaining. They have none left, and they face now a 4th and goal from the 1.
execution. They want that offensive line to line up, tight splits. Don't allow the defensive linemen to be able to come in on the gap, drive off the ball, punch it in if they're going to run the short play in for the touchdown. I cannot see them here trying to take the ball to the outside.
No, it doesn't make any sense, and I think Pat Dye's got to believe, look, if we can't punch it in there, we don't deserve it anyway.
The defensive line for Indiana, 250, 235, 260. They're facing guys who are 228 at tight end, 279 at tackle, 315 at guard. The center's 279. The other guard's 284. Other tackles 266. They should be able to blow them off the line.
Bertley, White going for the corner, touchdown! So much for our expert opinion up here. Stan White rolling out away from everybody else and getting it into the end zone for what could be the game-winning touchdown.
Well, obviously Mallory and I were thinking the same thing. Only Pat Dye wasn't.
Jim Von Weil on to attempt the extra point. That would make it a 4-point Auburn lead, and it is good. 27-23. The Auburn Tigers more than a 7-point favorite coming into the game.
Take a look at Stan. He just fakes that pitch, pulls it back in, doesn't waste any time. When he gets to the outside, he has a blocker, and he knows he's in for the touchdown.
And the tight end, Victor Hall, doing a good job of sealing off the only defender that could have gotten to White.
You see, there was excellent penetration by the defensive line. Number 96, Brian Honeycutt, was a man that came right through for Indiana. Had that play gone to the inside, he may have been the man who would be the hero of this game. But number 11 for Auburn is the hero.
He's had a great day passing and now a super day rushing, only 7 yards, but 2 touchdowns on the ground that certainly are the difference in the game. And our Chevrolet most valuable players of the game are, in fact, Mike Dumas of Indiana, who has just been superb, as he has all 4 years for the Hoosiers, and Stan White, the Auburn quarterback who rushed for the winning touchdown, or apparent winning touchdown, with 39 seconds left in the game. Chevrolet will donate $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievement and to assist those in financial need. A squib kick finally picked up and returned, and a fumble. Is it a fumble or was he down?
Fumble.
Auburn has it. Corey Lewis comes up with a fumble recovery.
You see, it's picked up there, off balance. He's trying to run. He's hit, and the ball is on the ground. Another shot there.
Don Matejko, who has not played much, a senior fullback, fumbling the football for Indiana's first turnover of the game. And what a terrible time for it to happen as far as the Hoosiers are concerned. Now 36 seconds remaining, and they do not any longer have the football.
And you can just expect Auburn to take the ball and hold on to it. I have to tell you, Stan White been terrific on that last drive he had, scoring that touchdown and passing. He set a new bowl record for an Auburn quarterback, surpassing Pat Sullivan by 1 yard, 351 yards in the air.
Well, the clock runs down, and Auburn leading by 4 over Indiana in the 1990 Peach Bowl. Let's go to Orlando and Brent Musburger at NCAA basketball.
Well, Steve, thank you very much. And we're getting ready for a little college basketball following the Peach Bowl. We'll have the Tar Heels of North Carolina matched against DePaul's Blue Demons. The Blue Demons have been reeling. They've lost 4 in a row, so we'll see how they're doing. And by the way, Steve, way to go to hold on to that voice today. You've done a good job. Let's go back to Steve.
Thanks, pal. I've had a little help from my friends here with some apple cider and lemon. That's the only thing that's kept me going. There you are down there where it's warm and indoors on top of that. How about that?
And it's your hometown.
Yeah, and I just left there the other day. Have a good one, Brent. We've had a good one here. 27-23 Auburn. And they have the ball with 26 seconds left. Indiana has one more timeout that they may go ahead and use. White just falling on the ball. And so Indiana stops the clock with 21 seconds left in the game. And we want to take this opportunity to let you know that the executive producer of ABC's College Football is Jeffrey Mason. The Peach Bowl was produced today by Jack Graham, directed by Jim Jeanette. Our technical director, Rich Gelbert. Our associate producer, Jimmy Ressler. Our associate director, Jaime Bravo. The assistants to the producer, Margaret Schaefer and Mike Curran. Our technical operation managers were Bernard Gant and Mel Girardin. And our telecommunications manager, Al Schmitz. Our thanks to everybody who has made this Peach Bowl and the telecast of it possible. And again, our condolences to the family of Gary Bender. He could not be with his partner, Lynn Swan, today. It's been my pleasure to fill in and enjoy with you part of ABC's Bowl Fest as Auburn pulls it out in the final seconds with a great drive to win it over Indiana, who played outstanding football. 27-23 Auburn in the 23rd annual Peach Bowl. For Lynn Swan, this is Steve Zabriskie, and for Susan Hunt as well, saying so long from Atlanta.
Geo. Get to know Geo. Available right around the corner at your Chevrolet Geo dealers. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.
Once again, did another Wimbledon. Well, if you enjoyed our Wimbledon coverage more than 30 hours, I hope you'll just take time to look at these names. The many hours of work that went into bringing you the pictures and the sounds and the production. Those of us who are veterans in this business marvel at the talent and the time and the energy and creativity that our friends from the States and our colleagues here from England brought to these telecasts. We thank you all. And as tired as we all are, can't wait for another Wimbledon to come late next year.